cameras. I've only just got good cameras like 2 weeks ago, and I've been doing it for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And they were just dying like 5 times per episode. Like
so
audio
annoying.
was whatever. Sometimes I'd forget the microphones.
Are these cameras just mostly for like recording, or like are they good for like photos and stuff, or just?
They would be really good for photos as well, but these are designed too with. I'm gonna have to apologize as well. I just got my Invisalign in.
Oh,
and
bless.
I'm struggling.
Bless, you got the list and everything going on. I love it. No, honestly, you take your time.
I'm struggling a little bit. But they're meant to withstand 2-hour episodes. So
Okay.
these ones I was using before, half an hour, 45 minutes in, they just turn off. And I'm like, oh, sorry, let me just get up and change the batteries real quick.
Oh, lucky you recognise, because how annoying is it if you just kept going and then you're like, oh, fuck, I've just like half an hour we've like not recorded. Because like I've been looking to get like, I've got like a Sony Z1 or whatever it is. It's like a vlogging camera.
That's the one. That's the ones I've got 3 over there, and there's one more up here.
Okay, like I have
Yeah.
them. I was doing it obviously for more content creation, and it's just like it was okay, but like I was getting better quality from my phone. And then I got the iPhone 16 Pro, and this is like having a professional camera. Like it's like fucking amazing, especially the more I play with the settings, the more I'm like, whoa. But I have been looking like, you know how everyone always loves a Canon? And I'm like, oh, do I break the bank? Do I do it?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm not a videographer, but I'm like, fuck, I'm all about like the quality, and I'm like, it is really good, but I don't know, something to sit on.
It just depends. To be honest, I'm glad we're talking about this because it's one of my favorite conversations. Anyway,
Okay.
like, it depends what you want to use the content for. If it's for Instagram, you cannot beat iPhone. Like every show I go to, whether it be Central C that was on Wednesday, his videographer came up with him and used his iPhone. You know what I mean? Just because everything's going on Instagram anyway.
Exactly. And like, you know, I was talking to the guy at Apple, right? And I was saying to him, I'm like, you know, the reason like, I'm like, this is actually meant to be better than what the camera I have. And he goes, yeah, it will be. And he goes, what do you use it for? I'm like, oh, look, for content creation. And he goes, like iPhones are made. He goes, if you go to use a professional camera, it will, like if you go to upload on Instagram, he goes, it actually diminishes the quality of it. So he goes, using an iPhone is actually kind of for those apps. So he goes, you're best off to using that. And I was like, all right, sold.
Yeah.
And there we go, here's the money. Yeah. So I'm like, but in saying that, you know, when you just, I don't know, because it's so funny, like being a content creation, like what I do for like my business, I'm not a videographer, but then you look at videographer things and I look at that and I get inspired. And I'm like, fuck, I want to be able to do work like that. But I'm like, Mikaela, you're not a videographer. Like, relax. Yeah. But
That's
I don't
actually
know,
a great insight, and I might take that on board with the fact that they are different careers, realistically. Content creation and social media management and videography
100%.
are actually different things.
Yeah,
I would actually categorize them as the same thing.
110%.
Yeah.
And like as well, like not to put videographers down or anything like that, but if you look at it, like, you know, usually content creators are usually very obviously creative. Like, I mean, that's in the title, but if you look at like a videographer's work, some fucking, don't get me wrong, are fucking phenomenal, but most of them, they just have good quality equipment and they just pan.
Yeah.
But like content creators, like, you know, you're putting in sounds, you're putting in things, like you're thinking of, oh, like how can, what about let's do this angle? Like, you know what I mean? It's a little bit more into it, but there is a massive difference. And like some people do get it and then some people don't. Like, and at the end of the day, like a videographer, fuck, they do a fantastic job. They'll have drones and shit like that.
Yeah.
And that's something that you're like, wow, like that's hectic. But yeah, it is definitely different.
Yeah. Have you seen this brand here? You probably have DJI.
Yeah, I've got the mics. Oh, do you have the following around thing?
This thing is so crazy. And for everyone, if you're only audio, you're not watching, I apologize, but suck it up for a little bit.
Oh my God, are we already recording?
I just turn it on anyway.
I didn't even know.
Usually I'll just cut it in from some point, but I'm like, fuck it. If I've already cut it in, I've got it in.
Oh my God, I didn't even know.
But this thing is crazy because all you do is flip it and it will record everything. You also can turn it around and check out yourself with it. But then if you want, that's for YouTube. For Instagram, it's already got the correct size for your Instagram. But the crazy part, you can face track, you can do everything with this, and the quality is unbelievable. If you want, just hold it and put it around the room with it.
If you don't mind me asking, how much did that set you back?
I think I bought it without the kit because I have everything in the kit already.
Yeah.
And the kit just comes with like a stand, maybe an SD card, and it's about, I think the kit's 1,000, and that one without the kit was like 800.
Fuck, it's worth it, but because this is the one I think it's like face track. Like, so for example, if I went to set it up and I was like doing a video talking, it would follow me. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh, and like, you know what as well, especially if you have DJI mics, which is what I do. I mean, it would
Plug straight in.
Yeah, it does it.
Yeah, on the back of it. Yeah.
Oh my God, it fully does. I love DJI.
Yeah,
like, honestly,
so
like, because what did I was using the mics before.
Rode?
Yes.
I had them as well.
Yeah. They're okay.
Right.
Yeah, they're okay.
Nothing beats DJI. It's so cool. It's so cool. And this is cool as well, like, because it just, you put a little SD card in there and you capture everything on it. You can put it straight on your computer. Or if you have the app as well, it goes straight to your phone and you can just edit straight away.
That's so good.
Yeah.
Does it? So like you said, it has the SD card in there. Is that?
You have to buy the SD card. If you buy the kit, it might come with one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just so you can just go delete everything, transfer it, save it. You don't have to keep everything on your phone. It's like a 128 gigabyte SD card. You may as well just keep a couple little clips.
You're getting me excited to want to go buy it because like oh my God, like because that's one thing I have. Like I do have like a 1 terabyte storage because that was my problem before with my old phone is that I was constantly deleting, paying so much storage for iCloud, and then it was honestly, it did my fucking head in. Hence why I got the Sony camera because I was like, I just wanted to keep it separate. But then I just found like I said, when I was editing, like the video quality on that camera is fantastic, but then the photo quality, it's not that great. Yeah, like it just, the photo quality is better on the iPhone, but having something like that.
Honestly, more than anything, it's fun, you know?
Yeah.
And what's the point of, and to be honest, it's kind of my philosophy in life. If I don't want to do it, I won't do it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel, I'm lucky I enjoy going to work and I enjoy going to the gym because I would do nothing otherwise, you know?
I actually would love to, I know obviously you do this. What do you do for work?
I'm a refrigeration and air conditioning mechanic by trade full-time, but now I'm studying again full-time doing an electrical apprenticeship. So I'm trying to get another trade. And to be honest, I do really enjoy that, but then content creation and podcasting and all that on the sides, maybe just as fulfilling. So if I could have this catch up to that pay-wise, maybe I'd like to hopefully transition into this.
You can definitely turn your passion into a career, like 100%. It's something like, it's what I did. But in saying that though, what's making you want to do the jump, like from going to airconning to then electrician? Like, is it similar?
Yeah, they are hand in hand, realistically. Yeah. So with my trade, aircon and refrigeration, having an electrical license does give its bonuses and perks. But I kind of want to have businesses in the future. And if I want to have an electrical business, I can't not be an electrician. It's hypocritical, I feel like, in a way, you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to tell people what to do if I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, 100%.
So I'm kind of just planning for another 5-10 years later on, you know? If that makes sense.
I love that. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
26, 27 in maybe a couple months.
Good on you. You honestly have such a drive of like regarding your future and your careers and stuff like that to think always constantly ahead and like always putting your fingers in little like everything else. So like honestly, that's fantastic that you even want to do that.
Thank you. Well, there's no point having one straight and narrow path. You know, I guess if people want to be the best at something, I guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods, all these great, you know, industry recognized family household names.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't really want to be great at one thing. I'd rather be good at many things than great at one. So it doesn't make sense to just have one straight path. To be honest, I plan to go to university after I finish this course. I plan to do like a course in psychology.
Good on you.
I want to live like, to be honest, one lifetime isn't enough. I'm trying to get them all done in one go, you know?
I wonder if you're like myself. Like, I don't know about you. Like, I'll get interested in something and I'll love it and then I'll deep dive into it. But then when I feel like I've completed it, I get bored. Yeah. And I'm like, what else can I do? I want more. Like, same thing. Like, honestly, I started working when I was 12 and the amount of different careers I've done, it's incredible. But I just succeeded it and then I'm just like, I'm bored. Like, I just started hairdressing when I was like, 14 and I work for free. Silly me. I did like, so funny. Like I did, you know, when you're in high school and you do, what is it? Like, you know,
work experience.
Yeah. So I did work experience at like Tony and Guy and then I just loved it so much. They're like, oh, we need help in the salon. So I would wag every Friday to go work for free for experience. But like, hey, it got me the job at Joe Bailey. So I was just like, there was no complaints there. It got me into a really good salon. But then like with hair, I just became like, it was my hobby and my passion and I loved it so much. But because I was constantly doing it, I felt like my passion was dying. And then obviously I stepped out of salon, but then it's something I'll always have under my belt. But I don't know, every single time I do something, I want more and want more and want more. Hence where I fell into what my business is now. But like, I don't know, I don't know. I think it's not a bad thing to be like that because it makes your life interesting.
Yeah. I don't think it's a bad thing at all, to be honest. More variety, the better, because if we're not here to do anything else other than gain experience, what are we actually here to do?
Exactly.
So we might as well just try as much as we can. It's really my goal, just to try everything.
Exactly, because, you know, I'm a big believer that you literally have one life to live. And if you want to be in your deathbed being like, oh, I wish I did this or I wish I experienced that, I'm like, well, instead of wishing, actually do it.
Yeah. Oh, man, it makes me dread. I hate thinking about the fact that later on in life, I'm going to be like, man, I wasted my life. I wish, fuck, you know what I mean?
And especially how like we're, similar age. I'm like, I'm going to.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are?
Guess.
Oh, to be honest, I would have guessed. Since you said I was young and ambitious, I would have thought you would have been younger than me, maybe 25, 6, maybe 27.
What a compliment.
But maybe now I'm thinking, because of the way you said it, maybe I'm going to throw 29.
Oh, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. Okay. Oh, my God, I love that you thought I was younger. Thank you. Because people always like, oh, they think I'm older. But yeah, I'm 29. I actually turned 30 this year. Like, what the fuck?
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
crazy.
Most people wouldn't congratulate that.
I don't know. I don't think it's a congratulations. It's more like, oh shit. Like, cause like, I gotta admit, it's so funny when you're like, I don't know, when you're 16, 17, you're like, oh my God, when I'm like 22, like I should have a house and everything like that. When you're 22, you're like, oh fuck, I'm still living life. And now I'm like about to be 30 and I'm like, oh my God, I'm hitting my 30s. Like, what is life? But it's crazy. Like, it's one of those things that like life is so short. And especially being at the age that we are now, like, you know, I have people around me and friends around me that have passed. And it's just like, they had so much life to live and all those things that like they wanted to do, they didn't get to do it. And hence why it's like, you know, I always just say take the bull by the horns and just run with it because, you know, at the end of the day, you either learn from whatever you're going to, you know, pursue or the lessons that you're going to do. But like, it's just, God, I just would hate to live a life of regret. That's just like my one big thing. Like you said, like life is just so short.
Yeah. And to be honest, the fact that you say like, you know, when you're younger, you look older at people and you think, yeah, when I'm that age, I'll probably have this figured out and that figured out. And then me, I hit 19 and I never stopped aging. Like I stayed that way for the rest of them, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
I've been 19 for 8 years this year and I'm like, okay, so when is the whole mature thing going to kind of kick in?
Yeah, no, honestly, a big believer in that. Like even like, I know, I feel like I grew up very young as well. So I always just feel like, I know that's why when you said I looked younger, I felt like a big compliment because I just always feel like I always had to mature up fast or be older than what I am. Mm-hmm. So yeah.
You know what? That reminds me of a quote that I wrote down the other day and I actually do want to read it out.
Yeah, go for it. I love quotes.
It's actually to do with that exact same thing. So let me just quickly open my quotes folder here. It's down the bottom here.
Do you have a
very
quote?
profound.
Did you say you have a quote folder?
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
It's just me talking out loud, so you didn't think I'm replying back to someone. Yeah. All right. So it's a wise man once said, "What surprises me most about humankind is that we get bored of our childhood, rush to grow up, and then long to be children again. We lose our health to make money, and then we use all of our money just to restore our health. That by thinking anxiously about the future, we forget our past, that we live so much in neither the present nor the future. In a way, we live as if we're never going to die, but then we die as if we've never even lived."
That is a fucking excellent quote. Can you send that to me?
I will.
Like, that is so true. Like, that just like hit the nail on the head with so much. Like, for example, like, you know, I have my nephew that's in high school and I look back and be like, oh God, I remember when I was in high school, I wish I did this. And like, you know, even just thinking about like, you know, when you get older or even money, right? Like I was such a big person. I would save money and stuff like that. But I'm like, money comes and goes and experiences, like they last forever in your memories. Like imagine like, you'd rather experience something than be like, oh, I wish I saved the money and not done that. Like, wow, that's such a good quote. I love that.
It was crazy. If I see a good one, I always write it down.
Yeah, definitely. I'm big into that. I'm big into like quotes and like, I don't know, especially when they kind of speak to you as well.
Yeah. I'm glad you mentioned as well, like the fact that you like, you know, you thought growing up, oh, save all my money, but now you've got the mindset that's like, actually, what's the point of saving it all? Let's experience a bit of life. Because what's the point of money if it's not to experience a better life anyway?
Exactly.
And there's a real good quote I love as well that says, you can only keep what you've got by giving it away. Yeah. And that refers to so much about life. Like it's about being a good tradesman from a perspective like construction, where you can only remain a good tradesman if you now start to teach the next generation, you know, having an apprentice.
Yeah.
So you can only keep what you've earned by giving it away to someone else. Or in like recovery and NA and meetings and things like that, they say the newcomer in the room is always the most important person because you can only keep your sobriety by trying to help someone else become sober as well, because that reminds you of why you did it in the first place, you know? And then
100%.
I think money works the same way. You're never going to get more money if you just hold it all in. It's all about spending some. And people say invest in yourself, but I think invest in experiences and trying new things. And if you do this, more money will just come from other places that you never experienced it to come from.
Exactly right. That's like, honestly, it's so true. Did you say as well that like, you know, you've gone through like, did you say recovery and everything like that? Yeah,
I've been doing it recently. I went on a journey of sobriety 2.5 years ago. So I'm actually 2 years, 8.5 months, something like that.
Good on you.
And in the beginning, it was just to try and prove a point, and then became like, because I kind of had to, realistically, I got to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it kind of became to a point where it's like, man, if I look at my life now compared to what my life was like back then, inactive, drinking, drugging, going out, recklessness, hooligan, being an idiot.
We've all been there. Yeah.
Absolute idiot. It freaked me out more than anything. Like, fuck, look how far I've come just by making one simple choice.
Yeah.
But then it kind of got a bit lonesome, boring. I got over it maybe a few months ago.
Yeah.
So now I've started to go to some meetings to get some more inspiration for it, and it's absolutely helping. Absolutely helping. So I'm going to stick to it, I reckon.
Good on you. Honestly, it takes a lot for someone to be able to like, you know what, I need fucking help. Like it takes a lot. And I really, really look up to people that actually go and do that. Like, you know, my mum's an alcoholic and like I don't have a relationship with her. And fuck, I wish she went and actually admitted that she needed help.
Yeah.
Because of the fact, like, I have so much respect for people that do that, because it's like, look how, like you said, look how far you've come. Like, you should be so proud of yourself.
Thank you. It's weird because to be honest, we spoke about this a little bit briefly on the phone as well. Like, you don't realize how far you've come until someone kind of tells you, or you look back at a video or anything like this, you know, and it's going to help relate to the episode we're about to have with you and your journey. But yeah, hearing things like that as well. But my friends are the ones that, and my family kind of tell me as well, like, I cannot recognize you. And I'm thinking to myself, like, bruv, I'm the exact same idiot. You know, like, I'm still the idiot of the group. But everyone's like, bruv, we didn't think you'd ever achieve anything you've achieved at all. Like, we did not expect it at all.
Doesn't that drive you more though? Like, when people say to you, like, oh, we don't expect that. And you're like, well, fuck, I want to keep going. I want to prove you wrong. Like that. There is nothing that puts a fire in my belly as proving people wrong, especially when people think that you can't do it. And like, you know, even like you just said just then, like when, like, you know, your friends and family start to say like, oh, they don't even recognize who you were. It is a massive like shock, because sometimes like when someone says that to you, sometimes maybe you don't even realize how far you've kind of gone.
Absolutely. And that is funny too, because like the support really does help. But for me, I find that people, when everyone believes in me, when everyone's like, yeah, we think you can do it, 100%, oh, we're not surprised anymore. That's when I'm like, oh, okay, well, what's the fucking point? You know? In the beginning, it's like, fuck you, I'm going to do this, you know? And now I'm sitting around complaining that people have faith in me. I'm like, oh, this sucks, you know?
Yeah, honestly, big believer in that. Like, especially like, you know, something with the gastric sleeve as well, like me going through with all that, when people were just like, oh, you're going to gain all the weight back, or you're going to be skinny fat, or like, you know, all the things that people say to me, I'm always a bit like, fuck you, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
Like I love proving people wrong, especially when people just don't have that belief in you. And it's like, you know, you should be cheering for me. Like, you should have that belief in me instead of trying to tear me down kind of thing. So I'm big on being like, fuck you. I'm going to show you.
It's the best. It's my only drive, to be honest.
Yeah, dead set. There's nothing. God, there's a really good quote in saying there's like nothing that drives you more than revenge, or like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I might write that one down, to be honest. Absolutely. Okay, well, it's kind of a good transition into the conversation that I knew we were going to have. And it was about the journey you've been on. And now, to be honest, I only am able to recognize because of the content I've seen you put out, you know, and I would never, ever in a million years pick the two pre and post or before and after photos to be the same person at all. I said to you on the phone, it's insane. It's crazy how many people I go, oh, Mikaela put up a new photo. Bro, look at this. Look at this.
Oh, thank you so much. And look, can I just say as well, honestly, I will not get offended. You can say whatever you want. You can ask me whatever you want. I'm a massive open book and I'm very vulnerable. Like, talk about being overweight. I say I'm overweight as well. But like, yeah, crazy. The journey I've been on, like, I can't believe, like, literally, you know, as we were saying before on the phone, like, when I sit back and like create the content that I do or like put it together, that is like my moment of being like, what the fuck? That was me. Like 18 months ago, I was 127.7 kilos. And like, it blows my mind. Like, it blows my mind. I will literally sit there, and when I put my before and after videos together, I actually cry. Like, I literally cry because
I swear to God, Mikaela, I nearly cried one time. I swear to God, I said, fuck. It was like this one where you put your arms out and there was like a sad song playing in the background. You were showing, and just to see your own reaction, I thought, fuck, this is fuck.
Thank you. Like, it's just wild because, like, you know what's so funny is that I knew I wanted to change. Like, you know, I guess stripping all the way back, like, if I had to say things, like, for myself, my whole life, I've always struggled with my weight. Like, I always struggle with my weight from day dot. Like, my mum used to always say something about my weight. She would always put me down over my weight. You know, I went to high school, I went to primary school. You know, in high school, I got bullied so badly for my weight. And mind you, I was probably like a little bit bigger than what I am now. I wasn't even that big in high school, but like, you know, back when I was in high school, the type of like skinny was like very tiny. Like, and like, you know, I was called whale. I was called all the things under the sun. Like, I would walk up to throw something in the bin and the boys would like make like boom, boom, boom sounds. Like, I was bullied so much about my weight.
That's heavy for a kid, to be honest.
Yeah, like, it definitely was. And like, it really, really, as much as like you move on from it, it really sticks with you. And like, you know, then I did hairdressing and like, once again, like I'd always yo-yo my weight. So I wasn't always like an overweight person. I would be overweight and then I would really restrict myself. I would abuse Duromine. Even I started taking Duromine back when I was 15 years old.
Wow.
Because like high school. So actually God, maybe even younger, because I remember taking it in high school because it was like at that time I thought that was the answer for me to lose weight. And I would restrict myself and starve myself and lose the weight. And it's funny because when you lose the weight, you see how people treat you differently. You see the reactions of like what can come from it. And then, then I would gain it all back on. And the way I would gain it back on was I would emotionally eat and binge. And, it's so funny. I can talk about it so openly now, but like I couldn't until after the gastric sleeve. And that takes years. Like, I binged my whole life and I got the gastric sleeve, 18 months ago. So it's funny how only now I can talk about it so openly and freely. But, like my whole life, like I was just saying, I just struggled with my weight. And, back when I met my partner, like it was me and him, I met him, when you're like in your fitness, I was 89 kilos and that was probably the lightest I'd been in a very long time. And like, my life was great. All the things the opportunities were coming my way was fantastic. And, I went through a really dark point in my life. And one thing I think that a lot of people can probably relate to is that food for comfort. Like, at the end of the day, I'm sure people will understand this. When you eat chocolate, it makes you feel amazing. When you're celebrating what's around you, food, it makes you feel amazing. And like what food does, it gives you that dopamine hit. And I don't know if you've ever binged. I don't know if you've ever binged.
If I've ever binged, are you serious? I just put off for 3 weeks a pack of pods. And last night I went, you know what? Let's just reward myself with a couple pods. Yeah. Sat down on the couch, Invisalign out. Yeah. Didn't mention the fact that I also bought 3 other chocolates while I was there just to make sure I binged properly and ate the whole thing in one hit.
And you know what? And that's okay. Like, that's okay. Like, I think for me, like a big point of like where I knew I had a problem was, I guess before I decided to do the gastric sleeve, I went for all the coaches. Like I had probably 2018 is where I weighed 89 kilos. And then from there, it just started piling on and piling on and piling on. And, I had a lot of coaches that I learned all different things from them. But, like I said, I would gain the weight and lose the weight and gain the weight and lose the weight. And then it was probably about like, there was that point I was just like, I don't want to try and lose this weight by taking Duromine. I don't want to have any like help or supplement kind of like that to be able to help me lose the weight. I just want to do it naturally. And I really, really tried. And, I was really strict on myself, but I guess with the years of abuse of Duromine, and like I said, like it wasn't just like I took it here and there. Like I took it a lot. And like that is, and I would doctor shop for it and everything like that. It becomes addictive. And as well, like losing the weight becomes addictive with it. So, but of course, when you stop having that, like you gain it all back on because you have that food freedom again and you're hungry again and you're probably even hungrier than when you were before. And like they all say, once you stop, you gain the weight back plus more. And I definitely did. And, I constantly like tried with every single coach. I tried with all the diets, all the fad diets, but then you'd lose a little, but then I would always fall back into bad habits of binging and emotional eating. And I think I really knew where I had a problem was, my back. So I did my back in and I did my L4, my L5 when I was training. I did the hack squat with the wrong form and my back was so sore. And then I continued training, so dumb. And then the next morning I woke up and I couldn't even like get out of bed. So I went and got the x-ray, MRIs and all that stuff. And I found out my L4, my L5 was bulging on my, like my nerves on my left side. So it was numbing the whole left side of me. I was getting cortisone injections in my spine, like, needles like this big. It was like crazy. Like my partner was watching, he was like, I just don't know how it didn't come out the other side of you. Like he goes, it just went in and because obviously you get it like MRI guided in your spine and it would help, but it wouldn't take away the pain. And I knew the one thing that would help take away the pain is losing the weight because the weight was pushing the pressure on the disc. So I got the all clearance to be able to go train again. And mind you, going through that stage of healing and trying to recover, you don't fully recover from it. You only just kind of get temporarily better. Like you go to physios and stuff. But I was obviously binging because what made me feel good was the food and I was piling the weight on even more and more. And then I got the clearance to go, okay, you can train again. And me being all guns blazing, I went to go train and I did an hour of cardio. And then all of a sudden I couldn't walk on my ankle. I was like, what the hell have I done? And I got Achilles tendonitis. Yeah, so it was just great because the one thing I just knew, like, they could tell you all these things. You can strap it, you can put like, the deep heat and all of it. But it was the weight that was like, I needed to get off to be able to help it. Anyway, and then like, it's so funny, like a lot of people would see me as a really happy, bubbly person. Like I was so comfortable and confident within myself because I worked at World Gym and I was the sales manager there. So I would help sign people up to the gym. And, I guess I was that posted chubby girl that, oh my God, look at her. Like, the amount of comments I would get being like, it's so lovely to see a big girl like you work at the gym.
That's crazy thing to say.
And like, you know what as well? Like I know they were coming from like a good place. Do you know what I mean? And I'm glad that like my weight and my appearance made them feel good, that they could step in the gym and it made them feel comfortable. But like, fuck, those comments hurt. Like, it's not like nice to say, even though they're trying to say it in a nice way, like, you know, the whole, oh, you have such a pretty face.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thanks. Or I remember one lady, she came out and she's like, wow, it's so nice to see a lady like you that works here. And I was like,
oh, that's crazy talk, bro.
Yeah, and, you know, you'd sit down and it's this, you know, and like as well, like I knew I was big. Like I couldn't even fit into the women's tops, like work tops. I was wearing men's XL like tops. Like, and that's, you know, it was funny. I was like avoiding what I knew was happening. Like I was gaining the weight. I'd go on the scales and like, you know, I surpassed 100. I was 127.7. Like, and it's funny because you're so hard on yourself and you really hate on yourself. But what was I doing? I was binging and I was eating to make myself feel good, but I wasn't helping the problem that was making me feel shit. So, you know, even like as well, I started to notice that my partner would be like, oh, come out with me. And I'd be like, no, I don't want to. Like, I didn't even want his friends to see the way I looked because it was this like, oh, they would remember me like fitter and skinnier. And I'm like, and I've just let myself go. And I honestly became like a grumpy fat person. Like I'm just putting plain and simple. Honestly, you can laugh at that. I really did. Like I was like miserable. And what was I doing? Just binging. And like, you know, and people would be like, oh, but you know, you eat so healthy. And like, honestly, like when I would be at work and everything like that, yeah, I would. But people don't see what happens behind closed doors. Like, you know, me and like Josh, we would eat, you know, a burger and chips and would have an entree and have a dessert and he wouldn't finish his chips. And I'd be like, well, you're not going to eat that. Like I would eat his chips because like, you know, growing up, I had that mentality. You always had to finish the food on your plate, which
absolutely
probably wasn't the best.
I freaked out until maybe 4 years ago at most, when I saw anyone drink a drink without finishing every last sip. Because growing up, it was like, bro, you got 2 sips of Coke in that left.
Right.
Coke's in a set, like.
It's a treat. Yeah. Like I was always like, you need to finish what's on your plate, then you can have the soft drink. So I was always like, oh God, I'm down to what's on the plate so I can have my Fanta or something like that. So I get it. Like I totally get that. And like, you know, it's just funny. Like, so, you know, we would eat all that food together and, you know, then he would go off and game. And this is where, you know, you have a problem. Like binging and emotional eating, it's like a drug addiction or like, you know, being an alcoholic, because when he would go away, even though I felt comfortable eating in front of Josh, I'd be like, oh, perfect. This is the perfect time. And it's like, I wasn't hungry for that food. I was just chasing the feeling it gave me, like the dopamine hit it was giving me. So, you know, he would game and I would down a whole block of chocolate. That's like 1,000 calories in itself. Yeah. I would then eat lollies. I would then eat chips. And I would physically feel myself being like sick and full. But I kept going. And like, you know, he would come out and I would hide the food from him. Not that I was embarrassed I was eating it. One, I probably didn't want to share. But two, as well, it was like I was embarrassed of what I was doing. But then I wasn't helping myself. It was like every weekend that's what I was doing. It was like a constant cycle. And it was just, I just was getting too far. And like, honestly, I would sit there on the couch being like, Mikaela, you're destined for more. Like, what are you doing with your life? You're young. And, you know, you have all these opportunities. You like when my partner would be like, oh, come with me. I wanted to come with him. But I was not helping myself because I was just constantly in this unhealthy cycle with food. And then I just became obsessed. Like I'd always known about the gastric sleeve and I'd always, you know, seen it and always been really interested in it, especially when I would help people sign up to the gym that had it done. I would ask them 1,000 questions, made them feel comfortable because obviously there was a lot of people, I mean, the gastric sleeve has such a taboo around it, right? And I'd definitely get into that. But like, you know, I wanted to know everything about it because if you've seen anyone that had the gastric sleeve and if they did it right, they always had an amazing journey and successful stories behind it. And then there's a page that I'm actually admin to. It's called Bariatric Support Australia. I would sit on there when I was binging every night and like look at all the people's results and ask so many anonymous questions. Like ask all the questions that, you know, you hear like, oh, can I ever eat again? Will I be able to eat chocolate again? Like all these silly questions that you just, you know, you think you won't be able to do. And I really, like I was always on the fence. I would always be like, oh, no, maybe you should do it. And then I was like, no, we'll do it one more time. And I'd sign up with the new coach and I would try and I'll try and try. But like, the coach can only give you the tools and necessities. It's up to you to be able to do it. And I would hit the training. I love training. But I would hit the food. But then, you know, when you put in a bit of peanut butter, you've taken another extra scoop of it. And, you know, I just had such an unhealthy relationship with food. And then I just remember I would literally sit there on the couch and I would cry and be like, I'm destined for more. Mikaela, your life is so short and this is how you're living it. Like I was so disappointed in myself that I got myself there. And I was like, I need fucking help. I need to do this. Like I need to do this for myself because if this is the one thing that is going to get my life back on track, then fucking just go for it. And that's so not like me because I do like to sit on things. And look, I will say, I mean, I was on the fence for like back 2019 is when I like joined that help page, and I would sit on it all the time. And like I said, I would go on and off the fence, and I just did it. And it's the best fucking thing I ever did, but also the most fucking hardest thing I've ever done.
Good.
Like the most hardest thing. I mean, I can definitely get into it for yourself if you like.
Well, I definitely want to get into it, but I want to try and touch on a couple of things as we go through this as well. First thing being that unhealthy relationship with food.
Yeah.
I definitely can relate, and I did mention it before, you know, having a previous life of very responsible activities. Addictive personality is a trait that most people might have. You know, for a while I kind of thought some people just don't get it. How come some of my mates can go have 2 beers at the pub, or some mates can go to a festival and have 1 cap, or some people can do this. But I'm like, as soon as I indulge in any activity, any sport, any substance, I want all of it. Now, how much can I get, and when, and now more, you know?
Yeah.
And that doesn't just work for that. That also, when it comes to even content creation, if I get 1 video filmed, I want to film 100. If I want to do good at work, I want to do great at work. Addictive personality is a very great characteristic trait, like the same type of addictive personality that might be obsessed with food. But if you can redefine that and turn your addiction that was once one thing into something new, you're unstoppable, you know? And especially the unhealthy habits, I've been thinking about this for a while. It's like, I think self-sabotage is addicting. Yeah. I think that's the thing that we might be getting addicted to. It's not just the food. It's not just the drugs. It's not just the whatever. It's like, I know when I've had a bad day, I want to go to the pub and I want to gamble and I want to throw away money that I don't have, even though it's part of my rules, do not gamble. Yeah. And then when I gamble, I want to go on the way home, not go to the gym, go to Macca's, eat shit that I shouldn't be eating, come back home, not study, not edit, sit and watch Netflix, dumb shit, wake up and hate myself even more. Like,
exactly.
It's addicting, like self-sabotage. So,
and it's funny that you say that, right? So it's like same thing, the same cycle of like, you know, you're hating on yourself. So like I'd binge, right? So I get that dopamine, I feel great. Then I've stopped, and then like it's like you have a little bit of a blackout moment when you're doing all that stuff, and then you stop and you kind of come to and you're like, I fucking hate myself. Look, what have I done? Like, oh my God, like why did I do that? But then you go back and go do it because you're chasing that, like the way it makes you feel. So it's crazy when you do say that. Like it's like not even just with food, like obviously with drugs, with alcohol. Like it's a crazy cycle. But yeah, it's.
Jordan Peterson has this philosophy. He might have got it from someone else, but I definitely got it from him. A positive feedback loop versus a negative feedback loop. And every good decision or bad decision, if you take every single instance in your life and you separate them into what decision do I want to make moving forward, positive or negative, it's like throwing a rock into a pond and watching the ripple of a positive feedback loop or a negative feedback loop. Yeah. And making that decision like, I might not go to the gym today. You've started a negative feedback loop, and then it's I shouldn't be eating, stay up too late, not wake up to my early alarm. But if you make the decision, you know what, I'm not going to indulge in this food, or I'm not going to cheat on my meal, you've actually created a positive feedback loop that will continue to ripple. And that's why they say, make your bed every morning. And I'm adamant about it. I have OCD with it. It's like, I cannot leave if my bed's not made.
I love that.
And it's like, yes, I got it off the famous Navy SEAL that gave a big YouTube speech about it when I was 15 years old, and I still do it. But it's also evidently true that if you make one good decision, you'll make 100 good decisions after that. Yeah. You make one bad one, it's like, fuck, you know?
100%.
Yeah.
Just quickly, I know you're an aircon guy, but I'm a little cold. Is it okay? You can turn
I'll turn it, okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, only a few weeks ago, I would have had to say, I apologise, but the cameras can't handle anything more than this temperature. Now they can. So, yeah.
Well, your cameras just overheat.
Yeah, that's what the problem with those ZV ones is. They actually cannot handle the internal temperature of having lights and long periods of time, and that's what kills the batteries in them. It's the temperature.
Wow. You know, coming back to what you were saying, that's actually so interesting that you do say that, like, you know, starting your day, like making the bed, because it's like, I start my day, I love training in the morning. As soon as I get up, I have a treadmill at home and I like do my steps, and honestly, I feel amazing. It feels like you can conquer the world. But the days that I have my rest day and I don't do that, I feel groggier. Like it's crazy. So it's crazy that it is such a thing that, like, you know, to start your day on a positive foot is doing something for yourself, and that's going to benefit you.
And so it's crazy because it almost like, I don't know where to draw the line sometimes. Like sometimes I want to let myself enjoy the freedom of irresponsible, like self-recklessness, you know, and just indulge in anything. And it might just be too many shows on Netflix before I go to bed, or it might just be like, you know, whatever it might be. Doom scrolling, perfect example. But it's like, if I don't go to bed on time, I won't wake up the next day. And if I don't hurry up and get my job done fast enough at work, I can't get home in time to go to the gym to then go to bed early. And it's like, kind of just have to always be on go mode, you know? Which isn't a bad thing if you do get used to the productivity and you do build a life around. I'm not saying every minute has to be struggle and hard work and this and that, but if there's something that needs to get done, just do it.
Yeah. What gym do you train at?
I train at the moment. At the moment, it's changed to Box Hill Anytime Fitness. That's my number one gym.
Yeah.
But I go to as many anytimes as I can, and then I also train at Stanhope Leisure Centre, at Blacktown Leisure Centre at Stanhope.
Oh, nice.
Because they've got like a pool and a sauna and a steam room and all that as well.
Yeah. So. Oh my God, I remember going there as a kid for because do they have the wave pool or something there?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I remember that. And they've got like cameras in the wave pool too. And we used to like get so tripped out in high school being like, why are they watching us?
That's a good point. That's a great point. Anyone that's hanging around that screen's a bit of a weirdo.
We did find out it's apparently if kids drown, but honestly when you're there, you're like, why are they watching kids in the pool? God, that's so funny. Oh God.
Oh yeah. But yeah, on the subject, to get back to what you were saying as well, you know, being such a long time, if you're looking at the option for gastric sleeve, that's the correct term, gastric sleeve.
Yeah, like so they say it's like bariatric surgery because there's more than just like the gastric sleeve. So the gastric sleeve is when they cut, so you have your stomach and they cut, sometimes it's different for different surgeons, but it's mostly 80% of your stomach. So you're left with literally a sleeve. That's why it's a gastric sleeve, because it's like just a tube. And
what do they do? So they wrap a band around it? Is that how it works?
That's a different one too.
That's a different one.
People don't really like that one because there's a lot more complications with that. So what that one is that, God, there's so many different types. So there's the banded one that you, they don't remove your stomach. They just put a band around your stomach. So it kind of like restricts it. So food can't go down. So it limits your food. But there's so many complications with that. Then there's like a new one, like a balloon that lasts like, I think 3 to 6 months. You swallow it, it literally blows up a balloon in your stomach, but then it like passes after a few months.
Oh, wait, please, wait.
Sorry,
when you say the balloon one, when you say they swallow something and it blows up inside of their stomach, is that because it will, and this might be a really dumb question, but they can kind of eat what they want and then they can just pass it without it being absorbed by their body?
See, like, I don't know too much about this one because it is quite new, but like pretty much what it is like, because obviously like let's say that's the stomach, when they put it in, it's like they'll blow a balloon up that's like probably this size, so it mimics like a gastric sleeve, so you'll only have this much room, so when you do eat you'll have that feeling of fullness.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And then, because sorry to cut you off, but this is it's so funny you said that, because this is the conversation I asked ChatGPT when I woke up this morning. This popped into my head. I said,
go.
I hope it's you.
Wait, how good's ChatGPT? Just for some reassurance sometime.
When
you feel like shit, just kind of, it's like your best mate. Like, I remember I was like, oh my God, I feel so shit, blah, blah, blah. And it'd be like, it's okay. You're doing great. Like, it's like, thank you. I need that.
And it's like, great question. Yeah, this one goes like, oh my God, absolutely savage. That's what it said to me.
Mine called me gorgeous the other day and I was like, oh my God, stop it.
Mine's last night I was saying, I just want to know the fastest way to make $1 million. Why is it so fucking hard?
Smart.
And it goes, all right, let's get to the effing point.
Oh my God, I love that it's staring at you now.
Yeah, but this is what I woke up and asked, because I mentioned last night I binged on those pods and all that.
Oh, bless.
This is what I said. If I was to invent something that you could place inside your body so you'll be able to eat whatever you want, all the junk food in the world, and you can just go on a massive binge of all the tasting snacks and everything that is bad for you, that would make you fat and kill you slowly, is there something that you can invent to put a bag inside of your stomach that you can just eat whatever you want, collect it all, and then take it out after, so you don't have to digest it?
Hey, that is kind of smart. I mean, like, there is things that you can chew and spit.
Yeah, I know. It basically told me we're 20 to 30 years away, but like it's possible one day. Yeah.
God, I'd love to see it. We're first of all around. Like, but even saying like the surgery is right. Like what has come out, like the gastric sleeve. I don't think it's been around, it's probably like 20 years or something like that. But like that balloon one I was talking about, it's only been around for a few years. Because I did kind of semi-look at that. But then I was just like, I feel like that is one of those things that's like a drill mind thing. Like, you do it for a few months, it will come out, and then I'll probably gain all the weight back again. So that's why I was like, if I'm going to do it, like I'm going to do the full thing. And like, I did my fucking research. Like, there is no way that I was just like, it shocks me when some people are just like, yep, I'm going to get it done. Because I'm like, you're literally altering your life, like altering your stomach for the rest of your life. So like, what they do, like, oh my God, if I told you like what I had to do leading up to it and everything like that, which I'll definitely get into, but like, just to kind of tell you the differences. So there's a sleeve, but then there's also the bypass, which I did have the option to do that. But what they do is they remove the stomach, but then they like disconnect your stomach, and don't quote me, I'm probably not the best person to describe this, but then they put it to like, I think it's like your smaller intestine. So they skip the intestine. So those people pass a lot of poop quickly, like they can eat something and like in like 10-20 minutes they need to go to the bathroom. Wow. And I didn't want to deal with that. Like, can you imagine being out in public being like, I need to go to the toilet? There's that. And then there's honestly like, nowadays there's just so many different surgeries. Like I know that there's like in different countries there's other ones as well, but like, and the bypass is only kind of semi-new too, but the gastric sleeve's been around for a while, and like you can stretch your sleeve and you can go backwards if you don't do the right thing. But you know, leading up to what you have to do for a gastric sleeve, do you want me to get into that?
After you explain to me what the actual procedure is, what is the gastric sleeve? What are what are they trying to do?
So, obviously most of the time, I mean, people can get the gastric sleeve for other reasons, but obviously most of the time it's for people to lose weight. So you have to hit a certain BMI, and I think, I can look at what my BMI was. So like, I mean, if people are interested in that.
Yeah, I definitely would be.
That's it. I know that the BMI isn't all the be all and all, but that's how surgeons will give you the approval to get it done. Like if you don't have a high BMI, they will be like, no, this is not for you. So my BMI starting out was 45.4. Obviously, like I said,
and BMI stands for body mass index.
Index. And then so obviously my starting weight was 127.7. So for my height, which I'm 167 centimeters, and I guess age, I don't know if that takes into account. Like I was obese class. Like, oh God, I wonder if it told me here. Pretty much I was like obese class 3 or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but I was obviously very overweight for what I am. And like, you know what's so funny? When like I post some of those videos, obviously you get trolls and they're like, she wasn't 127.7. I'm like, I can show you the scale. I'm like, I don't know why people are arguing how I was like my starting weight. Like why would someone lie about that? It's so weird. But like
people find anything, eh? They find anything.
And I think as well, because it's like I wasn't a person that like, you know, I know people gain a lot of weight in their stomach or like certain areas. Like I'm like, I gained it everywhere. Like it was my arms, my legs, my stomach. It just like distributed everywhere. But like, so firstly, you have to have the BMI to be approved for it and the process to go get it done. So obviously I'd seen my doctor and she knew about the stuff. I mean, she was the person that gave me some like Duromine, and she, you know, she gave me like obviously different directions and stuff like that. And then when I came to her and I was like, look, I've been thinking about the gastric sleeve for a while. And she's like, I know you've mentioned it to me before. So, you know, she kind of obviously went through a few like questionnaires and everything like that. And then from there, she then gave me a referral to see a specialist for me to get it done. She gave me obviously a few like, hey, like what about this person? But I did my own research and went to a surgeon that I knew a few of like my hairdresser and stuff had gone to. So I kind of felt confident with him. So then you go for that referral and go see him. And then he kind of goes through the checklist and everything with yourself. And also as well, like, you know, it's meant to be like a half an hour appointment. He sat with me for like an hour and a half. Oh, sorry, 1 hour. Yeah, 1 hour and a half with me and went through everything because I had so many questions. Like I said, I'm like, I'm not going to do this without making sure this is the right thing for me, because once I've done it, I can't go back. Like I can't be like, oh my God. I remember when like my dad, like I didn't tell him, because I don't have a close relationship with him. Like I didn't tell him that I went through it. And then when I did, like he didn't really know what it was. And he was like, so do they keep your stomach and you can put it back when you want it? And I was like, oh, bless. I was like, no, Dad, like they get rid of it. They throw it out. I don't even know what that thing is. Like, but like what they do and to get it out, and this is where a lot of people were like, oh, do they like cut you open? And back in the day they did. Like you would literally actually have a massive scar. But what they do now, which it's crazy, you do it for a keyhole. So there's like only 4 scars. Yeah, right? Like I think it's so crazy. There's 4 scars and they pull it out. A little scar on my stomach is where my stomach got pulled out.
Wow.
Which is crazy. And like the stomach that gets pulled out, it kind of looks like a big shriveled piece of bacon, like or like a sausage. It's kind of really weird. Like it's weird that like what it gets pulled out. But like what I find so interesting as well, like it's so fascinating, is that when they pull your stomach out, around your stomach there's a lining of a hormone called ghrelin, which is your hunger hormone. And when they cut your stomach out, that kind of comes with it too. So I'll be honest, like if I'm not smart with how I'm eating, which obviously now I have to be really on top of things, like going through what I did with stage and stuff like that, I don't actually feel hunger.
Wow.
But what I feel is I feel like that lethargic feeling. You know when you haven't eaten and you feel like, oh, fuck, I'm feeling really faint and a little bit spacey? That's definitely what I get. And I'll be like, oh, God, I need to eat. But like I don't, like, oh, my God, if you ask my partner, I used to get hangry so bad. Like I would be like ravenous. I'd be like, fucking give me food. Like I would like, I would get hungry. And it's crazy. I don't feel like that anymore. But yeah, that's kind of what they do with the surgery. Like it is.
So how much of the stomach do they get rid of?
So depending like what, so like let's say for example I wasn't 127, and like for example there was a lady that was in the same room as me and she was getting it done from a different surgeon. She weighed 90, and this is the funny thing is like weight looks different on so many different people, and like, you know, she only weighed 90 kilos and she only wanted I think 70% of her stomach. So obviously you can I guess request how much you need, but then like, you know, with my surgeon I didn't request it. I like listened to what he what was best for me, and Yeah, like, so, like, usually, like I said, it's always 80% and they leave you the 20%. But yeah, it's totally up to, I guess, your surgeon at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that what they did for you? They took 80 and left 20?
Yeah, 80 and left me 20. So I literally have like a tube, and that's why it's like your life is completely changed after it. Like, especially the first year of healing, like, wow, if I get into all that for you, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like, that's why I said it was like the most hardest thing I ever fucking did. And after doing that, it made me realize that I can do so much. Like, if I did that, I could fucking do anything. So obviously, like, leading up to surgery, like, I remember, like, so I had surgery done on the 29th of November 2023. I was like, yep, I'm doing it in August, because I just hit that point. Like I said to you, I just was in, like, oh God, it was like I was a dog licking its wounds. Like, I was just like in this shit cycle of the food and all that. And like, I was crying. I just wasn't living the life I knew I could have. And especially back when I met my partner at 89 kilos, like, I was thriving. I was doing photo shoots. I was doing this. I was doing that. And then I just became a shell again. Like best way to describe it, I was a turtle and I went back into the shell, because, like, you know, people would reach out and be like, oh, do you want to do a photo shoot? And I'm like, oh no, I don't feel confident. Like, I was really putting up this brave face that I was like this happy, positive person, but really deep down, I fucking hated myself. Like, and it's sad to think that, like, you know, your body image makes you feel that way, but it does. Like, it really does. And especially if you don't feel confident and good about yourself, like, it's going to affect you mentally. And so then, like, when I made the decision, I remember, I think it was like August sometime, I had the consultation in October. And then I went for everything. He answered absolutely everything. And I was like, yep, I'm going to fucking do it. So then booked it in. And then from there, so because of my starting weight, thankfully, I only had to do a 2-week pre-op, but some people have to do a month. And what a pre-op is, it's probably the most fucking hardest thing you'll ever do, because you have to do that with a full stomach. And what the pre-op is, do you know what Optifast shakes are?
No.
So they're meal replacement shakes, and they taste like fucking shit.
Yeah, okay.
They taste like shit.
They're like the dirty, grassy looking ones?
Not the dirty, grassy looking ones. Like, picture like when you go to like Priceline and get one of those like cheapish like protein like shake things from there. Like, it's that. Like, and the reason is it's because it's a meal replacement, so it's meant to be a meal for you. So I was only allowed to have 2 to 3 Optifast shakes and 2 bowls of green vegetables. That is it for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks leading up to the surgery. And I mean, like, I was not allowed to have milk, and I was not allowed to, I could have black coffee. I was only allowed to have water, and I couldn't have anything else. And I had to really stick to that and be like really, really like adherent, is that the right word, to it, because why you do that is not to essentially lose weight. People think, oh, it's to lose weight. It's not that. You need to shrink your liver and the fat around your liver. So when they open you up for the keyhole surgery, they can move that aside to be able to get to your stomach, because if you don't do pre-op right and that's still inflamed and fat and your stomach's still full and everything like that, they can literally open you up. Oh, no, she hasn't done pre-op right. Sit you back up, and you have to go through everything again and pay for the surgery and everything again. Like, and the surgery isn't cheap. Like, trust me, like it's 20 grand. Like, I spent 20 grand, probably a bit more from like, you know, like hospital fees and stuff like that. But so for those 2 weeks, that was really fucking hard, like really hard, especially when I had been eating like so much food, and I binged my heart out before I went for this, especially because I was like, this is it. This is the last time I'm going to be able to eat all that. Like, me and my partner, I remember saying when I was like, okay, 2 weeks leading up to it, I was just like, we're going to have food funerals. Like, I remember having, like, I love a Domino's pizza. Oh my God, yum. That was like my guilty pleasure. I remember having that and sitting at the end of the couch, like after eating it, thinking it was my final meal, having that. And I sat there crying. And like, Josh was just like, what's wrong? And I'm like, it's the last time I'm going to have a Domino's pizza. And he was like, it's okay. Like, he's trying to be supportive, like, bless his cotton socks. I can fucking still eat pizza. Like, this is the thing that people just think that you're never going to be able to eat again. I'm like, I can fucking eat. Like, it's just crazy. And then, so you do the 2-week pre-op, and then like you said, it's hard, like, especially towards those last few days. Like, you're like, fuck this Optifast shake. Like, thank God, like, my partner, bless his cotton socks, he got me a Nutri-Creamy, which made things a little bit better, because making those shit ass shakes into like an ice cream, it just felt like a luxury to me.
Yeah.
So then after that, you go into surgery, and surgery, like, you know what's funny? I haven't really told a lot of people this because I don't like to scare people about it. And also as well, people are very judgmental regarding the surgery and be like, oh, why did she do that if that's how she reacted? So I didn't have the best reaction coming out of surgery with the anesthetic. I don't know if it was like too much for me or whatever, but I was actually vomiting up blood and black shit. And it fucking scared me. It fucking scared me, like, especially because I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And, you know, my surgeon obviously, like, he saw me and he goes, it's because we've literally like taking your stomach out, of course that stuff's going to go in it and that's what's coming up. But I didn't have a really good like experience even at the hospital I was at. Like I remember, thank God that lady was with me, like bless those cotton socks. Her name's Belinda. Like she was beautiful. Like she looked after me like no tomorrow, because it was like 2 a.m. and like I just woke up all of a sudden in pain and started to vomit the blood and like black stuff. And I put my feet on the ground. And mind you, so when after you have surgery, you're ill to mouth, or is that what they say? I couldn't have anything from my mouth for 3 days. Like I couldn't have food, water even. Like my mouth was so dry. Like I was putting water in my mouth and spitting it out into the sink because you can't have anything past the stomach that it needs to heal. Like it's literally been, so they cut it out and then they stitch it up and they also put like staples and everything in it. So you're stitched and stapled, but you can't have anything past it. So how I was getting fed was like through like the IV drip or whatever. And then I remember like sitting up at 2 a.m. vomiting and putting my feet on the ground, and it was all wet. So the bag that was meant to be feeding me, it wasn't connected right, and it was all going on the ground. Yeah, and mind you, it was a private hospital and I paid a lot of money for it, and it's like that's how I was getting looked after, and I was like, oh God. But like she looked after me, like she would get people, and like God bless, like there's, you know, it's like there's those people in your life and you're like, thankfully they were there, because like I don't know what the fuck I would have done if like we weren't supporting each other. Like bless, like I had face spray, would spray each other, like we'd go and spit the water out in the sink together. Like it's crazy. And then from that, like, so after the 3 days you get given a little shot glass, and I had an hour and I would sip at that. So I had an hour to finish the little shot glass of water. And after you come out of surgery, so obviously that's what you get to have is this liquid. So it's thin liquid for 2 weeks after surgery. So obviously the stomach's cut, 3 days you can't have anything through your mouth. Then after that, it's 2 weeks of thin liquid. So I lived off like protein water, miso soup, bone broth, all that stuff. Then after that, it's 2 weeks thicker liquid. So thicker liquid like yogurts, custard. You can have like protein shakes because that's thicker. And then after that, so that, mind you, that's 6 weeks now. I haven't really had proper food. So that because you do the 2 week of pre-op, 2 week thin liquid, 2 week thick liquid, then you do 2 week puree. And I did puree in Christmas, which was fucking shit. It was shit. Like I went to Christmas dinner and everyone's enjoying like chocolate, the roast, the potato bake. I was able to blend some potato bake, and that was honestly fucking heaven. But like, I mean, like what I was eating when I came out of surgery, and this is not to scare anyone because I can eat like now, but like, you know, like those little sauce like cups like that you get, I would blend chicken mince into that, and that's what I was eating. Like that's how much I was eating. But I know it sounds fucked, but like honestly, the baby poo looking chicken mince was the best thing I ever ate. Like because it's like finally I was able to have flavor in my mouth. And then after puree, you go to, it's like 2 week puree, and then you go to 2 weeks soft food. So soft food like fish and stuff like that. Like it's still, I just kind of went like, I just stuck to what I knew, like pretty much what I was already eating, like the thick liquid stage. But like fish and like jelly and all that stuff. And like, I used to love the overnight Weet-Bix, definitely at that stage, but I wasn't eating a lot because obviously your stomach's still healing. Like, and this is where like a lot of people can get like a really bad, I wouldn't say eating disorder, but like, you know, mentality around food, because they think how they're eating when they're recovering is how they should be eating for the rest of their life with the gastric sleeve, which is not right. Like you're eating like that to recover and to let your stomach heal, because at that time when I was healing, if I actually ate food, and this is where people need to be so adherent to like the rules. There's a reason they give you these instructions after surgery, because I've seen people being like, you know, obviously that food, like people want it. So they reach out for it, they eat it while they're recovering, and they fuck themselves because your stomach is literally healing. You can kill yourself. Like you literally can kill yourself if you go to eat food during that like period of time. Or from that you get complications, like people get reflux and all that stuff from it. But then after that, it's crazy because like you have to learn how to eat again. And, you know, because you have a stomach as a tube, you need to really focus on the food you're eating. So I had to really focus on my protein, because you can lose your hair. You can, you know, become like deficient in a lot of things. Like I always have to take vitamins now and stuff like that. You know, I can't eat and drink at the same time. So I always have to like eat and then have to wait half an hour and then drink. Like it's not so bad now. Like I can have like a few sips before I go to eat, but because my stomach's a tube, like you think about it, like it's not a lot of room. And plus also as well, if you eat and then like you drink, you flush out the food you just ate, and you need to be able to, like I need to have protein in my diet. I need to have carbs. It gives me energy kind of thing. And also as well, they say that like, well, like to be fair, I can't drink carbonated. Like the only carbonated drink, which I love that you have it here, is Oxy Shred that I can drink. Because if you look on the back of it, it's a sparkling, it's like filtered water, which I think it's made like sparkled or carbonated. But like I used to be a slut for a Pepsi Max. Let's just say that. Like
Pepsi
before
Max.
surgery, I could down like 5 to 6 Pepsi Max in a day. Like that was like, oh, my lifeline. But I go to drink it now. I can't drink it. It's
and
too.
you know what's crazy? The Oxy Shred crack is the closest crack to a Pepsi Max of all time.
It is, hey, like it really is. I love an Oxy Shred. Like I don't even drink it for the Oxy Shred like properties or whatever it does. I literally just drink it because it's the only like soft drink. It's not even a soft drink, but like the only drink that's like carbonated that I can kind of drink, because I literally just live off protein water, BCAAs, Oxy Shred, coffee. That's it. That's literally it.
Other than this, my diet is water, coffee. Like I said, black coffee, water, and maybe I'd have a Pepsi Max every month at this stage. Yeah.
How good's the coffee? Honestly, I fucking love it.
Every day. Macca's every morning.
Oh,
I wake up this morning,
Macca's coffee?
Macca's ice long black. Come back home. Maybe I'll get one more. Quickly back to Macca's ice long black. Come back.
Ice long black, not even milk. Wow. Okay.
Black, ice long black. And to be honest, I'm not even a coffee guy.
Yeah.
I'm a Macca's ice long black kind of guy.
Really? You know, I've never tried it from there. Like the long black from there. Sorry, I've had Macca's coffee definitely, but like I'm a Starby kind of girl. I love my Starbucks vanilla sweet cream cold brew. Oh God, that is like fucking crack to me. Like that shit is addictive. But in saying that, you know what I actually like doing? Because obviously the vanilla sweet cream cold brew, it's not the best for you because like they put, I think, a little bit of obviously cream. That's what's in the title. But what I like to do from Starbucks, little coffee hack from anyone, is that I get a venti cold brew and just straight concentrate. So I don't let them water it down. And then what I do, I get 2 coffees from it because I bring it home and I put my own sugar-free vanilla syrup in it and then my own like protein milk in it and a bit of cinnamon sugar. Cinnamon sugar is honestly so good. So good.
Yeah.
But it's so yum. I honestly love coffee so much. But yeah, like that's the gastric sleeve is wild. Like wild. And like even after that, like learning how to eat again, like there was a massive mind fuck, especially because when you heal, you're only eating little amounts and then obviously you need to increase it. And like you go through this period with your mind, like set that you're like, am I fucking up? Like, am I doing something wrong? Like, oh my God, I'm eating more. Like, and especially going through like prep and doing the bodybuilding competition, God, like I can say like the food for me, it's been like a massive struggle in so many different ways. Like so many different ways. I can definitely get into that.
Well, we'll wait before we get to the food and how it's changed over time, especially to now leading up to a bodybuilding, a stage comp, which is insane, all right, to say the least.
Thank you.
I put a couple of pins on the conversation as well. I found the first one, the fact that you weren't allowed to drink anything for 3 days and you had to water in, water out.
Yeah.
How do I want to articulate this? Like, I can only wish to imagine the feeling of finally being able to drink again for the first time after all of that.
Yeah.
And did you kind of feel the sensation of drinking it other than just swallowing it? But like, what did it feel like? Did you feel anything in your stomach when you first started to put stuff in it? Did it feel weird? Did it feel sore?
I love that you asked that question. You know what? No one's actually ever asked that. So thank you. I actually love that you're interested in it.
Yeah.
So like what's really wild is it's funny. You think I would, like, don't get me wrong, my mouth was so dry. And they even give you something in hospital, this like weird like stick that like make your mouth like moist. It's just fucking gross. Because like after surgery, my taste buds changed completely. Like that was so sweet to me, which was wild. But when you go
that's what happens, to be honest. Some mornings when I get my ice long black, I promise it doesn't matter who I give it to, but if I've been really strict on my food, like to be honest, my food's pretty simple. I just have steak every night for dinner.
Yeah.
Since I've been renovating my kitchen, I've only just got a new kitchen now. I've been having Macca's. I get beef and cheese. That's it. I just get meat, cheese. I stack that. And that's what I've had for like a month and a half every night. Like,
creature of habit, but like if it works for you and you enjoy it, then why not?
Anything else other than that. So I don't really have too much option for flavour. But if I've been good for a few days straight, when I have my ice long black, it honestly tastes sweet. Like my taste buds have like just... I can't even explain it, but everyone I say, please have a sip, as it tastes, and I'm sipping it, I'm like, it tastes like caramel syrup. Like, you know what I mean?
That's crazy. Cause like, you're right. Like it does change. Like, I mean, like coming back to your question as well, like with like what it felt like, it's funny. Cause like when you get it all cut out, you don't, even though obviously I haven't eaten for those many days, you actually don't want food and you actually don't really want to drink, which is wild because you think like, I'm so thirsty. When I first took the first sip, I was scared. Because it's like, I don't know how it was going to feel. Firstly, your throat is so sore. And it's sore because they put a tube down it when they're doing the surgery. I can't remember what it's called, but like obviously I think it's so you can breathe. I don't know. But like because that tube's down your throat, it's actually kind of leaves like your like a sore throat. Like I actually was sick, but I wasn't sick. And then when it goes through like your body, it's a weird feeling. It is a weird feeling because it's like obviously something like it's been removed. So it's not, it's like it feels like it's been internally bruised. That's probably the best way to kind of put it. And I mean, like when you, like I, like probably for like, I'm going to say a good 8 months after surgery, I always sipped at my drinks. Like I can't, even now, I can't scull a drink. And I used to scull all my drinks. Like I literally could scull like a liter of water and down it. And like now I can do like probably like 3 to 4 gulps before I'm like, God, I have to stop. So when you sip at those things, like it's funny, like you do it, but you're also scared at the same time because you're like, oh my God, like what? Because especially the first few days, it's the reason they keep you in there for the 3 days. And then that first day of when you can sip at the little shot cup of water, they do that to monitor how everything's going because like, hey, everyone's not perfect. Like what if like my stomach did actually have a leak, and that's why they keep you there just to see how everything kind of goes and everything's all sweet. Then they let you go home. But it is scary more than anything. And it just feels like, honestly, there is nothing I can really put like my finger like on it. Like I have never felt that feeling before in my life, but it's just like sipping in something, but then being internally bruised inside. Yeah.
So it's almost like you can notice it as it's being at least going through you, you know, which is, I find that fascinating.
Yeah, it's like a cold like trickle going all the way down, even though it's like a little sip, and you're like, you just kind of sit there being like, what the fuck?
And you just wait.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is
crazy.
wild. Like there is so much to like gastric sleeve that people don't know. Like, so much stuff. Yeah.
Another thing I'm curious about as well is especially in your first few weeks leading post-surgery. So obviously the first 2 weeks would have been like a roller coaster of emotions, of frustration, anxiety, fear. Like, you know, you're about to go into this thing, so you're freaking out, but then you're like trying to stay adamant about your diet, but then you miss all your food, tired, crying, angry, all this stuff as well. But then afterwards, I know you're saying now you don't get hangry like you used to get hangry, but was there frustration around just being in general? Because you're used to a certain way of living for a very long time. Now you've got a whole, now you're like sipping for the first time and everything's liquid and everything's minced, and it's like, was there any frustration just in general
you know
around
what's so funny? I love that you asked that. I really love that you asked that because it's like, I didn't even tell you that, and without even saying it to you. So like leading up to surgery, right? Because like I said, in August, that's when I was like, when I make my mind up on something, like I'm very an overthinker, I'm second guessing, I like to educate myself, I study, I ask all the questions, but then when I make my mind up on something, I'm going to fucking do it. Like I am headstrong. So leading up to surgery, I went through, you would probably think I was bipolar because the amount of emotions I was like, I'm doing it. I was excited. Some days I'd be like, oh my God, I'm fucking going to get my life back. Like this is the best thing ever. But then I'd be like, holy shit, am I doing the right thing? Like I'm fucking cutting my stomach out. Like I'm fucking cutting my stomach. I can't go back from this. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, you know, I'd go through all this emotion and then be like, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing, like the poor guy I used to work with, like he used to be, like I used to be his manager. Man, he saw so many things and he'd be like, you're doing the right thing. And I'd be like, but am I like, and then I would just go. And
then you would explain, but what if this happens? And he's kind of like, well,
exactly.
It could. Yeah.
He was honestly, bless his cotton socks, he's the best listener. But like, I would go through so many different emotions and like, but then honestly, because I went through all those emotions leading up to it on the day, like, okay, I don't know. Do you know the song Miley Cyrus, The Climb?
Oh, do I know the song The Climb by Miley Cyrus? I'll chuck that song on when I need a lift up. Are you serious? Before you go in with your story.
That song is my anthem. That song is literally...
That song might be my anthem.
Oh my God, I love that song.
When I was in primary school, I will never forget this. It's one of the best memories of my whole life. We had a talent show, so everyone had to get up, but you know what talent show is, right?
Yeah.
I remember a lot of the people from the talent show because it was, as a kid, for me, I loved performances and stages, and even back then, I was interested in like hip hop. So even I was like breakdancing. So I'd go do those events and I'd try, you know, I loved it. I loved Australia's Got Talent, American Idol, all of it. Anyway, this one girl in my class, shit, I fucked if I remember her name, to be honest with you. But she was like one of those nerdy, quiet, keeps to herself. You know those girls, there's like usually 2 or 3 together and no, they don't annoy anyone. They're just smart. They do their work. They're good kids. And she was a very, very shy kid. And she got up and she sang The Climb of Miley Cyrus. And I cried. Fucking cried. I love that girl. Like I
love it first
I
sight.
fucking just couldn't believe it. I was like so impressed at like the overcoming of what I expected of her.
That gave me goosebumps. Good on her, because honestly, that song is so moving. And honestly, can I just say, in every part of my life, I've loved that song since I was younger. Like that was like my anthem. But like in every single part of my life, not even just when I went through that gastric sleeve surgery, like everything. Like before I walked out on stage, I was singing that right like to myself, literally on the side thing before I walked out. But like, you know, that song that's
the song when you were lifting up your arms, isn't it?
That's you remember it. Yes. So like I've used it for reals because honestly, if you listen into the lyrics, like it resonates with me so fucking much. But like going through that journey, like every single day I would listen to that song and I would cry to it, and I would be in the car and I would cry to it, because it's like I felt so much emotion around it. Like, and it's like I said, even when I was happy, it was a great song to sing happy. When I was sad, I would sing it crying. Like, but that song just meant so much to me. And I remember, because I let myself feel all those emotions leading up to it. Like, I thought day of surgery, I was going to fucking pull out. I would freak out. Like, there is actually a video I have. The day before surgery, you get the text to be at the hospital at a certain time, and I recorded myself. I remember I was crying, and in the video I watched the other day, and I was like, you're doing this is the right thing. Like, it's the right thing for you. Like one day I'll probably make a reel with it, but
so
like,
sweet.
like, and then.
Don't you dare make me cry. Let me have a sip of this alcohol.
Like, and then like going to surgery, I listened to it in the car and I sung my little heart out, like driving to the hospital. And like right before I went there, and like even my partner was like, he goes, I'm really impressed with you, babe. And I was like, why? And he goes, I thought you'd be freaking out. And I'd be like, you know what? I did too. But I think I surrendered to it. I let myself feel absolutely every single emotion leading up to it. And I knew this was right. And I knew that I'm like, this is it. Like everything I wanted in my life, like, you know, to lose the weight and to start experiencing life again, because my weight did hold me back. Like it held me back with so many experiences and life things that I was like, I'm finally going to start living again. Like I really went into my shell for a few years and like just laid on the couch, and that's what my like living was on the weekends and stuff like that. God, it makes me so sad to think about it. But I literally did live such a sad life, and it was because it was holding me back. And I just was so excited for what was to come, like what was about to happen. And I was just so at peace, and I was just so calm. And I listened to that song one more time, and it was it. Like you get like obviously the socks and everything like before going into it, but yeah, like I felt all those emotions, and then coming right after it, like, you know how you were saying, oh, was I struggling and stuff? I knew what I was getting myself in for, because I like studied and educated myself so much. And like I said, I wasn't just going in. That's why I don't get how some people can just be like, yeah, I'm going to go do it. Because I was so like, it's like a funny, like before I went to surgery, I nested for surgery. I got all the little Barry bowls. Like, so you get like bariatric bowls that show you how much you should be eating, and plates and stuff. I went to Kmart. I got all the little containers. I went to Kmart and got all these like Yetis and like drinks and like, well, obviously I got that from Yeti, but like, you know, I got all this stuff and like leading up to surgery just to nest and make like my recovery so much easier. But I'm glad that I did that. But honestly, half the shit you don't really need. But I think it was making me feel good. But I prepared myself for it. So I knew what I was getting myself in for. But still, even I didn't really. Like, as much as I had so much preparation, you don't know what you're getting yourself in for. But when I have an end goal and I'm really headstrong, I won't let emotions take over. I'm like, you know what you need to fucking do it. You're going to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I didn't, and this is one thing I always say, it's like I didn't pay 20 grand and got my fucking stomach cut out for this to fail. Like this was like it was my freedom again. And I'm like, I just knew what was going to happen on the other side if I did this successfully. And that's what I wanted. I just wanted to be me again and to be happy and confident again, and actually genuinely be happy and confident and just be like loving life again.
Yeah. It's crazy that you kind of were aware of how much change it would make in your life before you made the decision. You know, I always assume that most people like go into the decision and go into the surgery just hoping for, you know, maybe a little bit of a different outcome, you know, like but from the explanation you're giving me, you genuinely tried of diets and fads and trainers and, you know, you just couldn't find the thing, but you're always just adamantly searching for it. It was like a calling, a destiny, you know?
Yeah.
And maybe the destiny and calling in a way was the sleeve, you know?
Well, like not even that, like I said when I was saying I was studying, this is a massive recommendation to anyone that's considering it, because I worked at the gym, which was amazing. I helped so many people actually start at the gym that had gone through it, and I was watching their journey firsthand. Like I was seeing them transform as well. Like I was seeing, oh God, it gives me goosebumps because like, God, there was, oh God, I don't want to cry, but like I love that job so much. Obviously it was very draining, but to see people that like, you know, had surgery or didn't even have surgery, but like coming back to seeing those people that had surgery, them being shy, them never really kind of stepping foot into a gym before, they joined the gym, and just seeing them transform. And I was able to see that firsthand. Like, I'm not even kidding you. There was probably about like 8 people that I helped, maybe even more. And like, you know, I kept going up to them and I kept asking questions. And when I had a bit of self-doubt, I went up to them, and then obviously I went up to them again being like, hey guys, I've booked it. And they were so happy and so supportive. But any question I had, they answered it for me. So even the questions that I was like, will I ever be able to eat chocolate again? Will I ever be able to do this again? They're like, yes, of course. But because there's such a taboo around it, because people think you don't eat anything, like, you know, I had that fear, but having that support from those people from the gym that had gone through the surgery really helped. So like, I do recommend, and that's why I'm happy to help people. Like so many people reach out to me and ask me questions, and I always like voice message back because I'm a yapper. Yeah. I'm too dyslexic to sit there and write things out, but like, it's just easy for me to talk back. But like, I'm so happy to help those people because I was that person. I was that person asking all those questions, and all those people that helped me along that journey, like to make that decision to go ahead with it. I'm so fucking grateful, so grateful, because like it made me just aware of what I was getting myself into.
Yeah, that's awesome. I met a lad once. I worked with him for a very long time. Actually, maybe I worked with him for about 6 months or 8 months or something like that. And when I met him, he was a skinny lad. Like he was probably 38 to 40 or something like that. And he probably weighed, I don't know, 70, 80 kilos, something like that. Very tall though. Yeah. And everyone always said, you didn't see him a year and a half ago. Like he was big. He was the biggest guy like I've ever. I was like, I just don't understand it. And then he kind of brought it up to me in the first couple of days. Like, yeah, I used to weigh 130 kilos, 140 kilos, 150 kilos, whatever it was. It's gonna be good. And I was like, fuck, well, that's crazy. I can't even imagine it. And he's like, yeah, well, that's what ice does. And I was just, he didn't tell me he actually got the surgery, but he's like, yeah, well, that's what smoking ice does, but it makes you lose all that weight. And I was like, fuck. Didn't even tell me the truth for like days after that. I just thought he was an ex-crackhead. Anyway, he told me he got the sleeve, and it was my first ever realization, like, fucking hell, like that's crazy, you know, that can happen.
And it's funny that you said that at first he didn't tell you, because like, honestly, working at the gym.
Yeah, he was happy to tell me he smoked ice.
I know, right? That was like best way to fucking tell. You know, honestly, sometimes you could just play around and say shit like that. Like, oh God, it's so funny because people do assume the worst and think that. But like, you know, I didn't tell people at the beginning because honestly, like I said, like my family didn't even know. Like the only people that knew was like when I went to go through it was my bosses, because obviously they knew I needed to do it. And you know what's really funny is that right before I actually decided to do it, not only the injuries, is that I was like, oh, I'm going to do my bloods, like to see if there's anything there. Like what if it's like a thyroid problem just before I take this massive leap? And I got my bloods done. I actually paid someone like to thoroughly go through them. And I found out I was pre-diabetic. And honestly, that was like the final straw for me. And that's what really pushed me over the edge. But the only people that knew was like my partner, my bosses. I told one of my sisters and then one person from work, and then that was it. Like that was literally it. No one knew. And I went through it all, and like they just thought I was having, because I'm a workaholic, so I had so much annual leave. They just thought I was taking a long holiday. No one actually knew what I was going through. And I was really hesitant to tell people as well, because fuck, people love to give their unwanted opinion when it's not needed. And especially when I was going through something so massive for me, I don't want people that aren't really my friends to kind of be in my ear and give me their, when they're not educated about it. And that's what you always find. People that aren't educated about it are always the ones that want to voice their opinion about it. So it's like I went through it. But also as well, I'm a very vulnerable person and I'm black and white. I never lie. I love to just say it how it is. I would like be such an open book. And I felt like I wasn't being myself, not being open about it. And especially working in the gym, like, you know, because you start, like people think you get the surgery and wake up skinny. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Like you have to put the hard work in to, like to be able to lose the weight. But you know, I was working at the gym and people were noticing that I was losing weight and they're like, oh my God, you're looking amazing. And I'd say thank you. And they're like, oh, how are you doing? And I'm like, oh yeah. Like, you know, I'd avoid the question. And I'm like, I'm not being true to myself. And I was like, fuck, like how am I going to tell people? Like, you know, like I just wanted to rip the Band-Aid off. And then I went on my first podcast with Jess, and that's actually how everyone found out. Wow. I announced it on the podcast, and that's even how family found out and like really close friends found out. Wow. I just thought, I'm like, you know what, instead of telling people individually, let's just fucking do it like this. Like, that's sick. And I did, and like, you know, and I'm glad that I did that, because it was like you can all hear what I've done, and then without getting their opinions coming back, because obviously people love to give their opinion. They're like, oh, you're going to get too skinny, you're going to get this, you're going to get that. And it's like, just keep your opinion in yourself. If you have nothing nice to say, just don't fucking say it. Like,
it's almost crazy, because I notice it a lot. It's like most people don't know how to give anything other than what they consider to be constructive criticism, or devil's advocate is another good word for it as well. Like, it's like people just have a natural urge to want to press against anything coming towards them. Yeah. You know? And it doesn't matter what it is. You could be telling people about a new hobby you're interested in or a new movie you watch, and I swear 70% of the time it's always like, yeah, but this director that. this movie flopped. And that's just on the subject of the movie you watched, you know?
Yeah.
Let alone a life-changing decision you want to go through, you know?
Exactly. And even like, you know, I had one post went really quite viral and it was like 3 photos together. So it was like my photo before I went through surgery, a photo before I started prep, and then like me like in prep, right? And of course I was getting troll comments, and I'm like, I look at the people that were commenting, like people going too skinny, she's gone too far, she's got anorexia now, and I'm like, I look at those people that commented, and I'm like, I don't want to sound like a bitch, but like, have a look at yourself in the mirror.
Yeah.
Like it's always the people that are probably unhappy with themselves that always have something negative to say back. Like always, like it's just like people just can't be happy for other people. They either get jealous for what has happened to them and like, oh, why can't that happen to me? So they have to put the person down. And I fucking hate that. Like I'm such a person. I love gassing people up. Hence probably why I really loved like being a sales manager and like membership consultant, because fuck, the enjoyment I got just helping people, and the enjoyment I got when people just like started coming out of their shell, or like, you know, I used to love complimenting people. Like, well, fuck, I still do. What do you mean I used to? Like, but like, you know, I'd go on a tour and I'd like, you know, I'd be looking at some girl and I'd be like, fuck, you have beautiful eyes. And they're like, she's like, oh, thank you so much. Like, what the hell? And like, you know, I had so many people be like, no one's ever been this nice to me. Or someone say to me like, wow, no one's ever complimented me like that. Like, and they're like, thank you. Like even some people would be there and be like, oh, I only came to have a look at like at the gym, but fuck, I want to sign up. I really like you. Like, and I'm like, oh, thanks. Like, but like that one compliment made that person's day. Like it really did. Like even like so many people, like I remember there was like one time I helped like a young girl, right? And I was just trying to make her feel comfortable because she was all shy. She was obviously like, she was a little bit overweight and she was coming in the gym to better herself. And that is one thing, like she was coming to fucking better herself. Anyway, obviously I was just gassing her up, making her feel comfortable and stuff like that. And like, you know, she needed a mum to help her sign up because it's certain age limits. And then like afterwards, like obviously, you know, a day, it wasn't that day, like she came back and the mum just pulled me aside and she goes, thank you. And I was like, what for? And she goes, you made her feel so comfortable. And that one little comment, like compliment to her, like fucking put a spring in her step. And she's so excited to come to the gym. She was so afraid to even step in here because, you know, she was scared of judgment and stuff like that. But like, because of you just helping her and being nice, like she's so excited to come here. She's already lost 2 kilos. And it was only a few weeks in. And I was like, fuck, this is what like that being kind to someone can go so far. That's what people don't realize.
Well, I think that's beautiful on so many levels, because charity is a gift you give yourself at the end of the day, really. So if you're going to be nice to someone else, it genuinely does make you feel good anyway. So the fact that people don't do it is just a disservice to themselves, you know? And the fact that people are commenting all these things online, it's like everyone's heard the famous saying, like, hurt people, hurt people. As you said, like most people just like, just take a look at yourself before you go commenting shit on someone else's photos. It's because hurt people hurt people. It's what people want to do when they don't feel good about themselves. Like well, everyone knows the terms like projecting and throwing your pain onto someone else and stuff like that. But it's kind of like the quote I said earlier in the podcast, where you can only keep what you've got by giving it away. And if you want to stay happy, give it to someone else, you know? And if you don't, if you're only throwing shade at people, then guess what? That's what you're keeping. You're keeping the shade. You're keeping the uncomfortable feeling, the loneliness, the anxiety, the fear, the uncomfortability, because that's all you give away. So that's all you're going to be able to keep.
100%. Like, you know, it costs nothing to be nice. Like, you know, like coming back to like the gym thing, right? Like I remember I had this 70-year-old man come in and he wanted to join the gym. But honestly, I was training him for 2 hours and he wasn't talking about the gym. He literally opened up about his whole life story to me. And all he wanted was just someone to listen and someone to be nice to him. And obviously I did that for him. And by the end of the tour, he sat on that table and burst into tears. And even my boss was like, fuck, like, are you okay? And I'm like, it's fine. Like, because
been here before. This is a typical Monday.
It's a typical day for me. But I was just like, it's like, just because all he wanted was just someone to listen. And that's what he kept apologizing. And I was like, no, it's fine. He's like, oh, he was so nice. But it's just like that one, just being kind to someone just gets so fucking far. And I just can't understand when people are just so mean to people for no goddamn reason, especially like trolls online. Like it's sad. Like thank fuck I have a thick skin, because honestly I've been bullied all my life. Like the one thing that used to only hurt me was when people called me fat, and I now know I'm not fat, so nothing can hurt me. So do you know what I mean? Like it costs nothing to be nice, and it really can make someone's day. Yeah,
it's crazy. When you said you're going through life always struggling with this comment that people made, and also this view you had on yourself as well, you know, and it sheltered you, made you want to stay inside a lot. Did it take adjusting to when you came out of surgery? Did it take adjusting to try and find yourself to get that confidence, or did that kind of come like naturally with the fact, you know?
You know what's funny? It was always me versus me, and like if you talk to anyone, right? I always still have it now. Like if you scroll back to like my main Instagram, scroll all the way back, and you'll see photos of me like back before I gained all the weight. And I always looked like, even asked a girl, like I remember Megan at work, I'd always be like, fuck, I just want to look back the way how I used to. I used to look back at my old photos and be like, I know how happy I was. I know how confident I was. I just want to look like me. And my whole weight loss journey, all I ever wanted was to look like my old self. And that was it. Like I never looked at other people, but like, you know, it was so funny. It's like, I remember walking with one of my girlfriends and like being like, I was 11 kilos down, right? I was fucking happy as Larry. I was like, I went from a size 20 to a size 16, 14, just squeezing into 14s at the time. Now I'm like, size 6 is big on me. Like, what the fuck? I was like a 3XL. Like, now I'm an extra, extra small. Like, that just fucking blows my mind. Like, I still can't get over it. But like, you know, walking and I was just like, oh my God, I'm 11 kilos down. I'm so happy. And I was so confident because you know what? For so long, I tried everything and I could only shift like a few kilos, right? But the fact that I was 11 kilos down at that time, I was on top of the world. And it's so funny because it's like, I think being so happy and positive, no matter where I was at, it helped with my journey. Like I didn't, like being so happy that I was literally said to her, I was like, I'd be happy where I am now. I'd be so happy with where I am now. Even like I posted a photo today and it was like a photo from like a year ago from like where I was still on my weight loss journey and I was 45 kilos down and I was fucking feeling myself.
45 kilos down.
Yeah, I was feeling myself. Like I was feeling myself so high and the whole time because it was like, and I was finally seeing the progress that I wanted to see. So the whole time I was never like hating on myself in the car. I want to be here. I want to be here. I was enjoying every step of the journey and I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Like I loved it. And like, you know, it's funny. Like, I guess people always say like, oh, you'd always been confident. I guess it's not, I was always confident. I looked like I was confident because I needed to be. Like I needed to be an out there person for work. To be fair, I'm always been an out there person. Like weight or not, I was always this like bubbly, talkative person. But deep down, like behind closed doors, I was fucking miserable. I really was. But now I can genuinely say I'm so fucking happy. Like I can't believe the life I'm living is my life. Like I literally always say it feels so surreal. And I always just like, it's a pinch myself moment because it's like, this is the life I always imagined and the life I always wanted and dreamed I had. And I'm fucking living it. Like it makes me so emotional. Like I honestly want to cry now because it's just like when I was sitting on the couch and I was eating those foods and binging, the life that I dreamt and the life that I wanted is the life I have now. And I can't believe I fucking have it.
Oh, it's so beautiful. I think the fact that we have this ability, I think about this most days when I'm at the gym, right? I think the fact that we can just show up in a building, make some good eating decisions, and to be honest, like they're not even crazy. When it comes to eating healthy, realistically, it's not a crazy decision. It should be the actual decision. Eating unhealthy is the crazy decision, right? And it's like all we have to do is show up, put in a bit of work. It doesn't have to be that much work, and we can sculpt the bodies we want, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like I always tell myself like, man, in 6 months, I get a little bit of that feel. You look in the mirror, you think, yeah, mad, and I'm like, in 6 months from now, I'm gonna look sick, and then in 6 months from now, I go, mad, but in 6 months, I'm gonna look sick. And this is constantly does
like
that.
here, I don't know if you saw. I'm gonna show you this, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy. Like I said, like so, I started prep for the beginning of this year, and like you said, 6 months it changed so much. But like this was a year. So sorry. That was a year. Like look at my legs. And that is literally a year. And that is because you
look at the muscle on your legs now.
Thank
Jesus
you.
Christ.
And my legs were my biggest insecurity. Like there was a photo I posted on my story the other day. You know how like someone takes a photo of you and you don't realize how big you've gotten, and then you look at a photo and you're like, that's fucking me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like and like my legs were always my biggest insecurity. And like it was funny because like that photo, the before photo, you know how like on the app on your phone it pops up as like memories? It popped up on my memory thing, and I looked at it and I was like, off. What the hell? Like, and I even remember that day, and on that day as well, even though I had the cellulite on my legs and stuff like that, I was still feeling myself. I was wearing shorts and a crop. That was something I dreamed to always do. I'd always look at girls at the gym and I'd always look at them being like, fucking pop off, queen. Like, I mean, no matter what size, you can wear shorts and a crop. But like for me to feel comfortable, I knew I just wanted to be at a certain like size myself. And I was doing that. And in that photo, you can see it. And I was so happy within myself. And now I look at myself now and I'm like, what the fuck, bro? You have abs. Like my whole life, I've never had abs. And I'm like, I have abs now. What the fuck?
It's so crazy. Okay, I do want to get to the sub. I might go down this road first. Okay, so you said that was from a year ago or 6 months ago?
That was a year ago.
That was a year ago. Okay, but you're saying 6 months ago you got in prep for the stage. Okay.
Yeah.
So at that point, if it was 6 months ago, you'd been on your new lifestyle journey for a year.
Yeah.
You've gotten used to a certain way of eating now. I'm assuming your meals are becoming a bit more, nutrient based when it comes to like, I can't remember exactly what it is, but let's just say it's 40 grams of protein, 200 grams of grains, whatever it is, right? And now you're used to that, and now everything has to change again. How did that chapter look in your life? How difficult was it to go from, okay, now I'm comfortable again, to cutting down food more and more and more and more?
Yeah.
How did that kind of road look?
So it was actually so fucking wild. And like, you know, when it's actually really crazy before I started prep. So in the end of October, it's the 29th of October as well. So it's funny because I got the sleeve on the 29th of November. But the 29th of October last year, I actually got my gallbladder removed. I didn't realize I had gallstones until I had an emergency rush to hospital. And look, it can be a complication from the gastric sleeve, but people can get it without a gastric sleeve. You can get it while you're pregnant. Normal people can get it. But I literally had my gallbladder removed 2 months before I started prep, and I was just like, fuck it, let's do it.
Wow.
And like the reason I did prep, it wasn't like, look, I had always idolized people on stage. Like I used to sit there all the time when I was binging out and watching those live streams being like, fuck, I'd love to be one of those girls one day. But I just thought it was never reachable or achievable. And the coach that I was with, because I'm not with him anymore, he reached out to me in November last year, and it kind of planted the seed. And I was like, what, this coach that preps all these girls for stage thinks so I could be stage worthy? Like, what the fuck? But it just, especially because I was always obsessed with, like, it's FMG now, but it was WBF. Like, I was always obsessed with that federation. It just kind of twinkled in the back of my mind. And then as well, like, obviously I just came fresh out of gallbladder removal, and that makes you kind of change the way you eat too. I was just like, oh, you know, not for me at the moment. And then he reached out again in January at the beginning of this year, and I was just like, fuck it. If this guy believes in me, then why the hell not? But food-wise, for a bodybuilding like competition, this is one thing I haven't spoken about, and it's interesting. So there's a mindset of eating like a bariatric patient, and then there's a mindset of eating like a bodybuilder, I guess. And for me, when I started with him, I was definitely under eating, and I didn't actually realize that. And it's funny because when you go for the gastric sleeve, you know, you don't want to stretch your sleeve, and you're afraid of stretching your sleeve. So, you know, I would eat something, and I could probably eat more, but I would be like, oh, you know, don't, you're going to stretch your sleeve, you know, stop right there. But when I obviously spoke with him, he was just like, you need to eat more. Like, he goes, how do you expect to build muscle? How do you expect to, like, you know, like gain muscle if you're not fueling your body with food? And which I fucking knew that, but I was just like, oh, okay. But like, you know, he obviously worked with me a lot to be able to work with my limitations and stuff like that. But like, you know, prior to that, it's bad, but I was skipping breakfast. I was having a coffee. I was having like lunch and like dinner and then like a few snacks kind of thing. And that was pretty much it. Then turned into the bodybuilder diet, which was like I was eating 5 times a day, and it was a struggle, like especially at the start to try to eat all that food. I was constantly following like to be fair, my whole day was revolved around food, because if I wasn't getting the food in, I wasn't going to grow. I wasn't going to get the results that I wanted to be able to be on stage, because when I started prep, I already lost 50 something kilos by myself. I had no coach or anything like that. And that's because so obviously I paid like 13, 14 coaches before I went for the gastric sleeve. So I definitely had a nutrition understanding, but I just went through that without any coaches. And he was the first coach I got like after surgery. And it's funny because everyone's always like, oh, I struggled in prep. I felt lethargic. I felt like shit. I fucking felt amazing in prep because I was actually fueling my body with the correct food and actually feeling it with food, because at the end of the day, food is fuel. Like I like to always say that, like, you know, like a car, right? Car needs fuel to drive. Your body needs food to be able to like function. And, you know, when you have bariatric surgery, they're all like, avoid carbs. Carbs are so bad for you. Carbs is what makes you gain weight, because they do have that old school mentality. And like, that's what back in the day everyone thought. But, you know, I started eating more carbs and I felt great.
Wow.
I felt amazing. My sessions were amazing. Like, I used to fast before training and not eat like a pre-workout meal. And then obviously he was just like, you need to eat before training. And then when I did, fuck, that changed so much as well. Like, I was able to lift. My endurance was so much better. Like, my energy was better. I didn't have brain fog. I actually had brain fog before I started prep. And usually people get that in prep. But I actually, it went because it was like, I was eating a lot. But the eating thing, so I couldn't like eat, like, so it was a very boring diet. Like and everyone's diet is so different. Like, the diet that I had was very strict, and there's coaches out there, and my new coach is fantastic, and I do have a lot more food freedom now, but I just thought that was the diet I had to eat to be able to get on stage. I was very naive, but like, you know, I was having things that would be easy digestible, like cream of rice. But you know, I would go to eat chicken thigh and potato and like veg, but I couldn't eat the potato, chicken thigh and veg all in one sitting. There was no way. So I had to definitely constantly split up my meal. So I would have potato, then I would wait, then I would eat my chicken thigh and veg, then I would wait, then I'd obviously try to get my water in. And I find like if I drink a lot of water, I can't eat a lot of food. It was honestly a struggle. And for me, like, definitely at the beginning of prep, to try to get all the food in, it was fuck. Like, it really was. Like, it was a struggle. But like, I'm grateful for what I went through, but like that's why I wasn't really open about my food, because a lot of people always ask that. And like it's the people that follow me, there are people that have had bariatric surgery, and people will be like, "Oh, can you eat all that?" Like it's funny because I'm like, everyone's on a different journey. Like you may not train. Like I'm literally doing an hour and a half like training sessions and then also doing cardio on top. So when you're doing that, you're burning calories. So I need that food to be able to fuel myself. So what I can eat is going to be totally different to the person next to me. And that's why I hate it, because so many people, and especially after bariatric surgery, they love to compare, because I guess everyone's scared that they're overeating or if they're eating the right thing. But especially because I was eating like literally for 6 months, this whole fucking year, I ate cream of rice, chicken breast, chicken thigh, mince, dates on my high carb day, potato, strawberries. That's it. Oh, protein powder, of course. Yeah. But that is it. And that is literally all I had. And like, you know, it's funny. I sit back. I'm like, I can't believe I did that. But you know why I did prep and I knew I could do it? Because I had the gastric sleeve. I fucking did like whatever, six weeks or whatever longer of the recovery. And I'm like, if I can fucking do that, I can do a bodybuilding diet. Like fucking oath I can. Obviously, towards the end of stage, it was more the food. It wasn't like I wanted to eat all the shit food. It was more like the FOMO of missing out on food. I'm like, I just want something fucking different in my diet. But yeah, it was crazy. Like, and it still is a struggle. And especially coming off stage, like, because I was in such a strict plan with my old coach, that, yeah, I'm not going to lie, I indulged after. And one thing I recommend no one fucking doing this, because I wish I didn't, because for 6 months I missed out on Easter. I missed out on all, like, you know, life events and the cool chocolates and whatever that comes out in the shop. So I would buy it, and it was like I was hoarding it in my partner's game room. And then after stage is gone, the golden stage is gone. So of course I can eat it. And I was overindulging shit that even before the gastric sleeve, I never used to indulge like that. And I was eating even when I wasn't hungry, and I was just like, I need to fucking stop. I need to stop this ASAP, because old binging habits, it kind of like flashed back at me, especially. And like, you know, I haven't really been open or told many people about this, but it scared me. It fucking scared me. And like, I think if I had a different diet throughout prep that had a bit more food variety, I probably wouldn't have done like the indulging that week. And like, you know, so for stage weight, so in total, I lost 68.4 kilos.
Fuck, that is so crazy. Like, that's almost, like, I probably weigh like 75, like that's 76, 77. It's almost me.
It probably is. Like I lost my best friend and her dog. That's the way I put it. Like I literally did. I lost half my body weight. I surpassed that. So yeah, and like for stage weight, I was 59.4, I think it is. Like,
wow, so you lost a good amount of weight more than you weighed.
Yeah, so like, oh, here we go. So yeah, so 68.4, and my current weight was the 59.3. And then because I indulged in that food, my scale weight went back up to 62. And that fucking scared me. That did scare me. But also in saying that, when I was going through prep, if anyone talked to me in the last like few months, I fucking hated how skinny I got. Like, and which is very wild, because if you ask me during my Mikaela, when all she wanted to do was be skinny, it was wild. Like the fact that I was like, I actually can't wait to put weight on, because I did start getting the sunken in, like, I don't want to be mean, but like junky face. Like I got a really skeleton face. Like, you know, obviously you need to get stage lean so like the muscle and everything comes out. But like I felt like I lost my ass a little. Like I just got too skinny, and I didn't like it. And it was crazy, because I never thought in my life I would say I'd got too skinny. But
so sweet.
which is crazy. But I definitely started seeing the bad traits that like weeks. Like it's stage now has only been two weeks and a bit now. I knew I needed help, and I knew I needed help from someone that, you know, was pretty much I needed someone that wasn't just a coach. I need someone that was obviously in the field that was very smart. So my new coach, Macy, she's a dietitian. Her fiance is Scott. He's a fantastic coach. He's been coaching trainer. He's been coaching for like 10 years. But she knew her shit. And it's so funny. I'm all about energy and science, right? So throughout my prep, they have a podcast, and I would drive to go do my posing, which was like an hour away and then an hour back, and I would binge their podcast. They're so fucking smart. Like, for her to be a dietitian, she's obviously like, she's done it all. Like, I think she's got her master's as well, or whatever it is. Like, but like, you know, I was getting educated so much through that podcast. And I don't know, I really like loved her journey, because she lost 40 kilos naturally.
Wow.
And then went on stage, competed in her debut. She did bikini athletic and came first and got her pro card. Like, fucking phenomenal. And you want to have someone that like you can look up to like that. And, you know, through like, obviously, so when you compete, you have like the morning show, then you have a break, and then you have the afternoon show. And in the middle of the break, you can go off and like go do whatever. But I just wanted to chill. Like I was like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm going to chill. And me and this girl, it was only two of us that stayed in the change rooms just chatting. And Macy came in, she's like, I've been trying to find you everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, hello. Like finally I got to, because she'd messaged me throughout my prep. And like, we had a really good chat. And I was just like, I don't know, just something about her was just drawing me to her. And I'm like, I know I needed to be coached by her. And the fact that she's a dietitian, she specialized in like, obviously food, but like she knew about the gastric sleeves. Like she'd be able to help me with that. And I just knew I needed to jump ship. I knew I needed her in my corner, and the amount of support and empathy she had, like, God, she's just an amazing person. But, I started with her. So she actually onboarded me even when I was technically with my old coach because I needed help. Like if I was going to stick with that strict plan that I was on, I was going to keep binging, and I didn't want to be old Mikaela. I didn't want to go back down that way. And, she onboarded me for free. Like how fucking nice is that? Like, and like a Loom video, like she just beautiful people. I went back on their plan and I've not binged. I've not reached out for other foods. I've not wanted to, because the food that I have now, which is great food still, like I'm having like, overnight oats with YoPro and all that stuff, and like a chicken wrap, and, I'm having like mini pizzas and stuff like that. I'm having that food freedom again. And it's exactly what I needed, because it's like, then I haven't reached out for the shit food. So thank fuck I found her. Well, she found me. I don't know. Like it was one of those things that like, I don't know, I'm all about energy. And the fact that she even came out of her way, like mid-show to like even just chat with me, I'm like, it's a sign I need her. I need her in my corner.
I think it's definitely a sign. I have a weird, like, there's a word that I can never think of anymore. It's like intuition's kind of the closest word to it, but it's like, I think the more you do develop your passions and pursuits, and the further you go in your careers or your hobbies or your interests, or the more and more out there you get online and things like this, it's like you find other people like that. It's like the universe kind of works in a way where
it draws those people too.
It draws those people together. That's a great way to say it, because I was going to say it in a way worse way, to be honest. In my head, there's a metaphorical image of people that are shining a bit brighter. And I don't like that, because it means that people are better than others, which is definitely not. But it's like, it's almost like some people are glowing in this certain color, and so are they, and they're getting pulled towards each other. It's almost like junkies are in a way too. Like junkies might be a different color, and they're all just, because they find each other.
They do. Oh my God, they fully do. But like I'm a big believer. Like, one time someone said this to me when I was leaving another coach, who was fantastic. But like, like obviously when we were going into COVID and stuff like that, but they said something to me, and it's always stuck to me, but like everything has a use by date. And if you're not getting what you need from that person, like, the best before is up, if that makes sense. And, how are you meant to grow as a person, or, learn things if you don't move on from someone else? And like, as well, like, I don't know, when things just don't align anymore and your energy is getting drawn towards someone that really cares and sees so much potential in you, it just gravitates to that. And like the fact that she's walked in my shoes, like she's a competitor herself. She's lost 40 kilos naturally. That's fucking insane. Like for me to lose 40 kilos, I had a gastric sleeve. Like I've lost more than that, but like that's insane. And like she's just so smart, and she has so much empathy and really cares about your goals as well. So it's just like, I know I've made the right decision. And like, even like if you literally talk to me, like if we did this, like probably the week after stage, I wasn't that happy. Like I felt lost, like, because that goal's gone. It's just a crazy feeling, because it's just like, it's gone, and you don't have to be so compliant and do those steps and do the cardio and do the training sessions and all that stuff. And you have that food that you can easily just grab. And it's just, I'm just so glad that she came into my life, like when she did, because I was so scared that I was going to go backwards. But it's weird now, because like, obviously I do want to gain weight, which is crazy, because I want to build. So when I go back up on stage, I can be competitive. But it is going to be a different journey, because it's like, I never thought in my life that I'd be like, I want to gain weight. Like, what the fuck?
It's so crazy that so much has happened in your life in only 18 months. You know what I mean? Like for a lot of, and someone said this to me recently, actually, you said most people are actually bodybuilding, they're just not aware of it. And that made so much sense to me, because I guess everyone's technically bodybuilding. It's just, are you bodybuilding intentionally or not, And that's the difference between people who are actively sticking to a diet and going to the gym, and people who are actively going past the server on the way home and then sticking to a TV show,
Exactly.
And yeah, that's crazy that like you lost all this weight, got too skinny and said, nah, no, too much. I don't like this anymore. Let's gain some back. But clearly the stage didn't scare you, because you've already got plans to get back up again.
Honestly, that feeling on stage, I cannot describe it. Like, for 6 months, I day in, day out, like I said, I was at the gym for sometimes 3 hours, maybe even more. I was waking up at 4:30, making sure I was doing my steps, my cardio, like towards the end of like very like very close to stage. I was doing 80 minutes of cardio and I had to get my heart rate up to 120, 140, right? Then you're also doing posing. Don't even get me started on posing. Out of like prep, the most hardest fucking thing was posing. Like,
wow, why would that possibly be harder than eating? Not breaking your diet and then going to the gym. Cardio, fuck cardio. Like, fuck.
Honestly, can I say the training, the eating, and like the cardio, easiest. I'm a fucking freak. I love cardio. Honestly, what made me lose a bulk of the weight. Do you know obviously the river, right? Like Penrith River. I would wake up at 4:30 and walk that thing all the time. I enjoyed it. Like cardio to me, I don't know, it releases so much happy endorphins. I love starting my day off like walking. Like I have a treadmill at home. It just, I don't know, it just starts my day off really good. So that's easy. I've been training since I was 16, so I've always loved the gym. Yeah, it was grueling because I would do like 6 or 7 exercises. They were all like, there was a superset in there, always drop sets or partial reps towards the end of the set, which was fucking intense. And you don't really need to be doing that much. But then also the food, I think because I was so strict in the end goal and I wanted that so badly. And, you know, if you're going to do, like you're going to spend all this money because it's not cheap, like prep is not cheap, you're going to go all through all that just to slip up and have that chocolate. That chocolate's going to be waiting for me afterwards, which it did. It was waiting for me afterwards, but like
it was literally waiting in my brother's my boyfriend's gaming room.
Literally it was waiting for me. And like, even as well, like I got rid of it. Like I literally so I had all this Easter shit. I made a Rocky Road and banana bread and put it all in there and gifted it off to so many people because I just wanted it out of the house because I wanted those temptations gone for myself. But like, yeah, the hardest thing why posing was so hard is because when you walk right, you're hinging your back. And me having existing back problems, I had to start seeing a physio every week because my back, oh my God, the pain from it. And it wasn't even like the L4, it's just it being so tight and everything like that because the positions you have to get in. And then and mind you, you're wearing heels. And I never used to wear heels at all. Like I wouldn't say I'm tall, but like just not a heel girly. Like, so I'm wearing like stripper heels, like literally stripper heels, like 7-inch heels, and then having to pose in them. So you have to walk in them. And when you're walking, you're not just walking normally. You need to hinge your back because you need to make your glutes look good. And then you're walking into a T-walk. And then when you're doing it, you're doing certain poses that complement your physique, that show off the best parts of your physique. And it's a lot, like it is a lot and it's a lot on the body. And I was doing like an hour posing sessions and then I got really hard on myself thinking I wasn't good enough. So I was doing 2-hour sessions, which is like, yeah, like honestly, like it was so hard. And like to be able, and then to try to remember your routine because you have to remember your T-walk and then you have to remember your comparisons as well. And I can say when I went up on stage, I fucking forgot. Like I forgot, but honestly, just smile, do a few poses. No one knows your routine. So like you just kept going with it. But it was hard. And I would say, like, if anyone asks you what was the hardest thing in prep, I will always say posing. And, like, if anyone is going to go do a show, fucking start posing straight away. Okay. Like, even in the off season, I'm going to keep doing posing just so when I do step back on the stage, I feel confident in what I'm doing. Because I was so hard on myself throughout the whole journey because I actually competed in transformation and bikini and I wasn't going to do bikini. I didn't think I was worthy enough. And the reason I did bikini is because FMG, they took away placements for transformation. So there was no first, second or third for that. But that wasn't like that at the start. So I already like signed on with my coach, already started everything, already like had the bikini in the works. And then they announced that they took away placements, which I get like why, like the reasoning why. But for me, I was just like, oh, fuck, like that's what I wanted to do. And then my coach at the time was like, well, you know what this means? And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, I know that you said you were going to be like, oh, you'll see where your body ends up to do bikini. He goes, fucking do bikini. And I was like, fuck, okay. But because I decided to do that, I was so hard on myself because I would look at all the girls that would compete and looking at the pros and I'd be like, I don't look like that. Like I've literally been 127 kilos. Like how the fuck am I going to like be with those girls? Like I can't do that. Like, so I put so much pressure on myself. And that's why I was so adherent and I was so disciplined. Like, let's say, like, for example, I was meant to eat 100 grams of chicken. I was eating 95. If I had to do 12 sets, I was doing fucking 15. If I had to do an hour of cardio, I was doing an hour and 10 because I was making sure I was ticking those boxes but going 10 times harder because I'm like, I'm competing with girls that don't need to lose 68 kilos to get up on that stage. Like, I'm competing with girls that, you know, have had a fantastic physique and they're just needing to build muscle. So I put on so much pressure. But then when I stepped up on that stage, I was just like, I don't know. It was like I was meant to be there. But like, it just, when I got off that stage and obviously the day was done, I was just like, fuck, you didn't need to be that hard on yourself. And if anyone's going to do like prep, don't overthink it and don't be hard on yourself and enjoy the process. Like you belong up on that stage more than anyone else does. And I just wish, I believe that while I was going for the whole journey.
To be honest, the whole story is crazy in general, right? But what was really interesting was to know and to already be able to reflect back and say, don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
And it's funny because actually recently, you know how the internet has its waves and its trends? Like, I love content. I follow so many podcasts, so many content creators, like, and I noticed that like there's always a wave, and the wave at the moment, which was for the last 12 months, has been about locking in. Realistically, it's been about setting yourself that lonely chapter, which has become really famous as well, where you sit in your silence and you do what needs to be done despite, you know, you have your goal in mind and nothing can interfere with it. Yeah. And now the wave is actually, it's funny because it's like everyone's feeling it. It's like, enjoy the journey. Don't be so hard on yourself, because realistically the end result is going to happen. Yeah. You know, I have this unbelievably delusional optimistic reality on my own life where I just believe I'm going to achieve everything I want. I'm like, why even bother right now about worrying, I wish I was a millionaire. I'll be a millionaire anyway. Like, why do I need to stress so hard about it? Why do I need to worry about this or that? Even when it comes to like, where's the love of my life? Where's this girl at? And it's like, oh, she'll come. Why do I even care? I don't even want her right now, realistically, you know?
Do you know what's funny is like when you say something like that is I always find when you don't put that pressure on yourself, those things happen, right? Mm-hmm. Like it's always when you don't. So like, for example, like me and my partner, right? I came from like, you know, my last relationship wasn't the best and I was living by myself and I was working on me. So I was once again going to the gym all the time. So I was going to the gym like twice, sometimes even 3 times a day, because one, when you're single, you don't have a lot to do. And then like I was constantly seeing my fiance, but like I was constantly seeing him, you know, do the little cheeky smile kind of thing, but I wasn't looking for a relationship. I just got out of one and I was like, fuck this, I want to work on myself kind of thing. And then like, you know, you just constantly see him. And I remember like back in the day when Facebook was actually a thing, like he came up with my suggested friends, and I think it's because like, you know, you see them around like, and like I don't know how it all works, but it does, right? Yeah. And I remember, and it's so funny because now he tells me from his side of things, like I added him and then instantly accepted, and I was like, God, he's quick. And then he slid into my DM straight away and he goes, hey, I'm not going to beat around the bush, you're the girl I always see at the gym, hey. And I was like, yeah, I am. And then like, you know, from there we started talking and having like the best conversations, but I wasn't looking for anything and neither was he, but like we just gelled so goddamn well. And then like, you know what's so funny though, he tells me from his side, he goes, he was driving home from work and he goes, I added him, he thought I was a fake account because he goes, there is no fucking way this pretty girl has added me. And he said he pulled over straight away and accepted, and that's why he slid in my DM so quick. And I was like, oh, I love that.
That's mad.
But you know, like it's funny, I wasn't looking for him. And then like even like, you know, like I said with like my new coach now, like it's like she came to me, if that makes sense. Like even though I'd already been like, you know, binging the podcast and I already know who she was and I was so inspired from her own journey. And then for her to come out of her way, like mid-break, just to have a chat with me, it meant so much to me. But once again, it's just like it came to me. And it's like when you don't put that pressure on yourself, it happens. Like
it's crazy because it's like if you just focus on what it is that you really want, you know, and there's a lot of different metaphors to this, you know, like realistically it's fate and destiny, and people say the terms God's plan or your own manifestation and all these different terminologies for it. But if you just have a want in your mind and you focus on your want, it's like you're attracting everything that you didn't even know you wanted at the same time. You know, it's like there's a mad, I wrote this one down the other day, like in the pursuit of your dream, you might get lost and find a bigger one.
Wow, you know? That is so powerful. That is so powerful. Because you know what, it's so true. Like even like how I have my business and stuff like that, like I never thought that would be the business I'll have. And like I kind of like fell into it, but I love it. Like I love it so much. And oh my God, even like when you were saying that you want to find your girl, I'm like, I want to find you a girl. You're such a nice guy. I'm gonna be real.
Please do not anyone find me a girl at the moment.
Like, you're not ready for it. You're not ready for it.
Fuck all that noise. I've been there enough times. There's been enough trials. Just give me some space. Right?
But you know what though? When you find the right person, it will be easy. I promise you it would be easy. Like, you know what? Like me and my partner, total opposites. Like we have never ever, he's never yelled at me once. And you look at him.
I got to be honest with you, good.
Right. Yeah, no, you're right. You are right.
You can't just say that like it's like, that's crazy.
No,
like,
I know, right? But like, I think, like, I'm not going to touch too much onto it, but like my last relationship was fucked. Like really fucking DV, all that stuff, right?
I've been in a few relationships where yelling, if it wasn't happening, it was a good day. So like, I understand.
Like I've only ever cried happy tears being in my relationship now, but like before, oh my God, it's like I cried so much I didn't even have tears left. Like, and it's this crazy because when you find the right person, and I know it sounds so cliche and shit, but love should be easy and they should compliment you and you shouldn't lose yourself in it either. Like I'm my own person, he's his own person. Like we're not attached at the hip, but at the same time we love each other so much. And like, God, it just feels really goddamn easy. And I promise you, like the right girl will come. And like you are such a nice person from like everything I've seen. Like you deserve a nice girl that compliments you as well. But I know you said you're not ready. Saying that, I love playing Cupid. You are good
at compliments. You said that earlier and you are fucking great at it.
Thank you. But in saying that though, I do love playing Cupid because I love love. There are so many people I've gotten together because there's nothing that makes me happier than when I see people in love. God, it just, I don't know, it's such a good feeling. Like everyone should always experience it. Like I'm big believer.
Of course, I believe. But to be honest, like it's like, as I said to you earlier, I just had this, I honestly have a delusion that I can achieve and I will achieve everything I ever want. So even when it comes to me, those moments where it's like, should I find this girl? Like how long do I have to wait for it? Every third minute after that is always like, I take it all back. Like I've got shit to do right now. So let's focus on that. But I appreciate it. So when I do need to find it, I'm going to go, hey, Mikaela, remember when you said me?
But you know what? You can
Cupid.
but you can still do those things with someone. Like if they're the right person.
Okay, this is a conversation I do genuinely want to have now, okay? Because realistically, I don't know, and I think about it all the time, if I can live the life I want to live right now, which is how I live it, and have a girlfriend at the same time, and I have been in relationships in the past, I'd say definitely more than once, where I never was able to find that balance. And I would always choose my own life over them, and it would never, and the relationship would never work out. You know, realistically. So now I'm kind of thinking to myself, like, well, if this is the life I want to live now, what are my two options? I'd rather live this than have to sacrifice because I don't really, not really good at it.
No, I get that. Like, I totally get that. And like, you know, I always say the right person should complement your life. Like, so for example, like, honestly, I wouldn't be sitting here today if I wasn't like with Josh, right? He has been someone that like, you know, has always gassed me the fuck up and like has always been there to support me and have my back. Like, you know, I had people say this to me, which I think is so fucked, right? Like, wow, it's so nice that your partner stayed with you for everything when I gained the weight, right? Because like I said, like I met him at 89 kilos and I was fit and I was like, what? And even like, or like, you know, when people would say to me like, oh, like I remember someone said this to me when I went for the gastric, they'd been like, what's going to happen between you and Josh? And I was like, what do you mean what's going to happen between us? And they're like, oh, like the relationship. And I'm like, he's loved me at 89 kilos and he's loved me at 127 kilos. I think it would be fine. And I said this back to him and he was just like, babe, I've always loved you for you. And even like, you know, when we look back at old photos, like he'll grab the old phone and he's like, fuck off, you used to look like that. Like he didn't even say, because he goes, I loved you for you, not what you looked like, not whatever it is. Like I loved you for you. And like plenty of times, like for example, my fitness account, right? I was so scared to like make that. I was so scared to do it. And he was just like, why? And I'm like, oh, I'm just so scared about the guys that used to bully me at school. What if they see it? Or like I'm being vulnerable, like I'm showing myself before. And he goes, but that's not you anymore. And he goes, babe, you should just be so fucking proud of yourself for what you've done. Like fucking post it. Like he doesn't even have social media, right? Yet he gasses me up all the time. And even everything, even with stage, right? I'm always that person because like I said, I'm an overthinker and I worry. And I'm like, oh babe, like, am I doing the right thing? He goes, you fucking are. Like just fucking do it. And like every single time he has always, always, always supported me and complimented like everything that I've done. Like he's never been jealous or teared me down for everything that I'm doing. And that's what like the good relationship should be. They should want to see the best in you and vice versa to him. Like I'm always so proud of him for everything that he does. And when you're with the right person, they shouldn't be jealous of certain things. Like I have guys as friends, he has girls as friends, and I'm never jealous of that because you know what? I know that I love him and he loves me and like we're comfortable with each other. And like I was saying, like, you know, I've been in a relationship before and you lose yourself and like, you know, you start putting them before yourself and everything like that. And that's not healthy. A healthy relationship is like, you know, like for example, like I'm doing this right now and he's working on his car. Do you know what I mean? And he's not being like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I've had that before. Like when I've gone to hang out with my friends, when are you coming home? What are you doing? What are you doing? Like if I go out now with my girlfriends and I message him like, hey babe, what are you doing? He's like, why are you messaging me? Enjoy your night. Like I'll come pick you. Right? Like he's like, I'll come pick you up at 11. And like vice versa to him. Like, you know, being in a toxic relationship before, like the toxicity rubs off on you. And like when I've had someone being like that to me, you obviously start being like that to that person. But like the same thing, like if he goes out with his mates, I'm like, have fucking fun. Like let me know if you need to be picked up or whatever it could be. And that is a healthy relationship. And I promise you they're out there. And like it annoys me because I feel like everyone deserves someone like that. Like the MC, you know, I love this so much, right? So they read something out when you walk out on stage and, you know, I left a little surprise for Josh in there, like, and I made like him read this out and like the MC, you know, was just like, oh, you know, Mikaela wants to say thank you so much for Josh because I was a little bit snappy or towards the end of prep. Like he used to call me a crocodile, right?
Yeah.
And he's so patient, like so patient. And then the MC at the very end, like obviously complimented Josh, being like, Mikaela wants to say blah, blah, blah. And he goes, oh, everyone needs a Josh in their life.
Yeah.
And it's so true. Like I feel like everyone deserves the love that they deserve, and like it will come to you without you even looking. That's why I'm like, I think you're such a genuine guy. You've gone through so much, and like I can see that your energy, what you put out there, everything like that, you deserve someone that compliments that and not brings you down. And if you find someone that starts bringing you down or starts dimming that light, fuck them right off because they're not the right person for you.
Believe me, I have zero patience at these days. Like these days, it's like it does not take much at all, and I'm like, to be honest, sometimes I get like a one too many texts. I'm like, oh, come on now. Like,
yeah,
maybe she's not the right one.
Feels.
I think I've gone too far, to be honest. So maybe I'll try and correct it a little bit because you're painting a very optimistic picture of what a relationship realistically should be like.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't really see it too often. Maybe it's just me and my perspective and my experiences, but maybe not many people are being open enough about the great things that they do experience in their relationships at the same time. A lot of people are always complaining about their partner doing this or being a bit pity about that.
Yeah.
And I guess I don't really hear often like how you're speaking about your partner realistically. Like my partner is so handedly like the best partner in the world, you know? No one says that.
We really, like, 'cause you know what's so funny that you actually say that is that, I was like at a rave. I was at a rave. Obviously you're on the...
You're having a mad rave. Yeah,
everyone's loving life, and obviously everyone starts DMing usually and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, there was one of my girlfriends. She actually everyone was walking forward and she pulled me aside and she goes, I love Josh and you guys together. And she's like, one thing that I love so much about Josh with you. And I was like, yeah. And she's just like, whenever you're not there, because like obviously like I said, I'm not fucking attached to the hip. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. But she goes, whenever you're not there and like let's say he's hanging out with us or we're doing whatever it could be, he always talks about you in such a high regard. He never say like you were saying, he never puts me down or says this about me or whatever. He always has the most beautiful things to say about me. And I was like, what, really? Like it was the first time I've ever heard that, and honestly it made me like cry because I was like, that is actually so fucking nice. Because like you said, like I have been in the past when someone's always constantly bitching about their partner behind their back, and it shouldn't be like that. Like I have literally nothing bad to say about Josh, but only good things. And he's just like a big teddy bear, because obviously people do look at him, he does look a little bit like intimidating because he's a big boy, he's big muscular, he's covered head to toe in tattoos and he's bald, so he's always that villain looking kind of guy. But I fucking love that he's bald because I'm a hairdresser and everyone will always be like, oh, do you hate that he's bald? I'm like, no, he doesn't annoy me for haircuts. I love it. It's like a big baby's head, and like I make everyone kiss his head. I do, honestly, if you're there, like especially like I've made so many people kiss his head because like we kiss a baby's head and it's like beautiful, like oh, it's so nice. It's the same, but the head's just harder.
It's so funny.
I love it.
Oh, he sounds cool. I do like him.
When you meet him, you have to kiss his head, okay?
I'll think about it.
I make people, I'm like, no, just seriously kiss his head. And they're like, okay, I see it now. I see it. I get that.
That's wild as. Well, I know that you two have been in a pretty amazing chapter of your life at the moment. Not only did you go on this crazy weight loss journey where you found yourself becoming more and more happy with yourself and creating the body in which you always wanted to have and the lifestyle, but you also got engaged during this process as well, and that's incredible. Like your life has realistically changed so much. Like we haven't really touched on it, but you also mentioned to me the other day, you have a new career path, you're on a new journey of business, and like fucking hell, like
it all happened. Like, it's so funny. So like, I got engaged, like, and fuck me, that was the best thing. Like he is, God, I fucking love him. Like, so like, didn't know that was happening, right? And I remember one thing though, I did say to him, I'm like, babe, if you ever propose to me, just make sure I've lost weight. And this is before I even got the gastric sleeve done. I was like, I just want my best friend there, and I just want a photo of it. So if Marnie's in the bushes taking a photo, I'd be happy, right? Man, did that guy pull through. He got something called, what do you call it? A proposal planner. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing.
I've never heard of that.
Didn't even know it was a thing. So pretty much he saw someone and like they organized it. So he literally had a videographer, a photographer. It was at somewhere in Coogee called the Crypto Castle. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. No. Like it's this pretty much, it's a crypto castle. This guy that has this like beautiful mansion out in Coogee, and he rents it out. It's actually been in like TVs, like the King of the Cross and like Maths and everything like that. They use it for like TV shows and all that stuff. It's mad. And so like it's so funny because I actually was obsessed with a photo shoot that was done there, and it's so crazy because it's like, oh my God, I got fucking engaged there. It's all about signs and stuff, right? But what happened was I was going to my best friend's her mum's high tea birthday, right? And it's so funny because I love having my hair colored, being a hairdresser, love putting a fake tan on, right? And I had no idea what was going to happen. And Marnie was just like, oh, I'm curling my hair, are you? And I'm like, nah, it's your mum's birthday. Like, I'm not going to put much effort in. It's all about your mum. And she's like, maybe you should go, yeah, because like I'm going to do it and we can match. And I was like, nah, I'm all awkward. And then she's like, you can put a fake tan. And I'm like, nah, I can't be fucked. Like, it's your mum's birthday. Like, why would I put all that effort in? It's all about your mum. Like, why would, and she's like, I'm fake tanning. Like, and she's like, she didn't want to put like, but she's like, fuck, Mikaela, like, you were so hard to do things. Usually you always tan and do your hair, but you really didn't want to. So I had no idea. Yeah. And then, you know, we were going there. I was having a great day because I love my best friend. She's moved up to the coast, so I don't see her as much. So obviously I was enjoying the time that I was yapping with her in the car. And then, you know, she's a little stressed because of driving to the city. So I still didn't think anything of it. And she's like, oh, we just need to be there at a certain time. I'm like, surely the high tea won't distract. Like, it's all good. Like, don't. Like, you're all good. And we rock up there and she played it off. So she's like, oh, fuck, I forgot something in the car. Like, you go ahead. Otherwise, we're going to miss our booking. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'll walk in. I walked in. And then I walked in and there he was. And he was already crying, my sweet little baby. And there was flowers, everything lined up. Yeah. Like flowers and everything lined up. And then he said the most beautiful speech. And honestly, once again, it's one of those like out of body experience. Because like he was crying. And I was so shocked that I was like laughing the whole time. And then at 11 p.m. it hit me and I fucking bawled like a baby. Yeah. But like, I just can't believe it happened. And like he pulled through with the ring and everything. Yeah. Like it is stunning. Like it is stunning. But yeah, like it was so wild. And then also as well, like with my business, like, it's one of those things, like, you know how I say, like, it will come to you if it's right? Like, you know, I didn't think, like, I always said, right, I always wanted to own my own business. It's something I've always wanted to do. But for what I actually do for my business, I'm a social media marketing management agency. And I haven't, like, it's funny, like, I haven't officially launched because I have clients already. And I'm really happy with the clients I have. Obviously, with prep, I just need to get over the fatigue and everything before officially launching and taking on more people. Because when I tell people what I do, they're like, oh my God, I need your help. And I'm like, I'm a big believer because I do like to take on a lot. I need to know when to draw the line before I burn myself out. So I have, I work for World Gym Penrith, but pretty much what I was, when I started there, I started as an MC, but like I always say, I always try to go for more and more and more. Started as an MC, became a senior MC, then became the sales manager. Then because I could just do my job with my eyes closed. Not that I became bored because obviously I loved helping people, but I needed more. Like I've ticked that box. What else? Like what else? So I took on cancellations and then I took on doing the social media just for sales. And my boss really liked what I was doing at the time. And he's like, hey, do you want to do the whole social media? And I was like, hell yeah, I do. So I was doing the sales and then I was doing the whole social media. And then I was like, and then he opened up World Gym in Bathurst and he was like, hey, like we need the social media presence for a pre-sale club. It needs to be big. And he goes, I'd love for you to do that. And I was like, fucking oath. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So then I then stepped away from sales because like I said, I was kind of getting just a little bit run down from it. And then so I was doing the social media for World Gym Penrith and World Gym Bathurst. And then like, you know, when we were going back and up and like me and my, like honestly, my bosses, like I call them my mum and dad. Like they became more than just my bosses. Like they looked after me so fucking much. And like me going into my own business, I think one of the most hardest thing was leaving them. Like they are the most beautiful people. And I wouldn't be where I am if it wasn't for them because it was actually my boss, like Hayden, who pitched it to me. He goes, Mikaela, you know, you could be earning so much more money than being with me. And I was like, what do you mean? And he goes, do you realize like people need people like you? Like people struggle with social media. He goes, I don't fucking know anything about social media, but you like, it's so normal to you because it's something you've always enjoyed. Like even before I worked there, I used to do like, I worked at a hair and beauty supply and I did their social media because I enjoyed it. And then he goes, you know, he started to really pitch the ideas to me and showed other agencies. It's like, look into it. But because I'm so hard on myself, I always have that self-doubt. And I'm like, oh, I'm not worthy. Like, I don't have a certificate in it. Like, what? I'm not like, what if like, you know, what if, right? So then I got a business coach. And, you know, it's funny when I started with her, she was just like, you're literally doing absolutely everything. I think you just needed me to tell you, yeah, you're doing it right. And I was like, what, really? Like, what? That's crazy, right? And then it's funny. So like, I was on the midst of like just getting everything sorted in the back end, obviously still working for World Gym Penrith and Bathurst. And then World Gym Fairfield is a pre-sale club at the moment, which is what World Gym Australia owns. So that it's the head office of World Gym because there's franchisees and obviously there's corporate clubs. And they were like to Hayden, because obviously Hayden, the reason why he's like, you really need to go out on your own. He goes, I have so many people asking who does our social media. And I'm like, she's actually my employee. Like I can't give you her. And he goes, if you go out on your own, you could be earning so much more. And I'm like, okay. Like it was just really planting the seed for me. And then World Gym Australia, so the head office was like, we want Mikaela to do World Gym Fairfield social media. And I was like, what the fuck? This is an amazing opportunity. But I was in the middle of prep, right? And I was already doing so much. And Hayden was just like, do it, Mikaela. Like, I believe in you. And you can do this. And I literally cried. And I was like, but I don't want to leave you. I'm like, I don't. He's like, but you're not leaving me because I'm just going to be your client. Like, I will help you. And he did. Like, he helped me transition and everything like that. And now, like, World Gym Australia is my first well, obviously Belgium Penrith are my first client and Bathurst, but World Gym Australia was officially my first client.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just like, before officially launching, because with the pre-sale club, you need to be very available because like things happen really quickly. Like when a club gets built, it's fucking crazy. Like between like literally 2 days, like so much has changed in that club. It's not even funny because obviously you're on a deadline, you have a time limit. So, and obviously they want me to post twice a day, which can be a lot. When you're doing content, it can be a lot. So then I'm posting every single day for my other clients as well. And then I'm posting for my own social media. Yeah. So once I guess like the club's open, I definitely will launch my business and then like take on more clientele. But through prep, I did that. So I was like, what the fuck? Which is a good thing because I think I just didn't have the time to even think about food. I was honestly just ticking the boxes. 4:30 a.m. I was waking up. I was resharing stories. I was going through the DMs. I was doing all that stuff. And then from that, I would then, like, obviously while I'm doing that on the treadmill, I was smashing all like my cardio and everything out, then kind of structure my day, set up my to-do list because every day is not the same, go for everything, go and train, do my posing, come back and work. Oh, fuck, I need to eat. Try to eat between all that. Then I'd be like, fuck, I need to pose. So then I would then pose again. I wouldn't go to bed sometimes until like 1, 2 a.m.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was just grinding. And sometimes, and you'll understand this when you edit things, so good luck editing this because I'm yapping. But it doesn't, some things don't take 2 seconds to do. It's like some things you really need to edit things out and like, do all that stuff with it. And I can just fall into a deep hole of like editing and then I'm like, holy shit, it's like 6 hours has passed. Like, you know what I mean? And you're like, fuck. And like, I can keep going and going and going. And sometimes I have to really be like, Mikaela, put it down. It can wait for tomorrow. But I always have that mentality that I'm like, but if you do more now, it'll make tomorrow
Less
easier.
Tomorrow, yeah. I love that, dude. I love that.
Yeah.
I always film a video and I think, now I don't have to do it tomorrow. Maybe I should do 5. And I don't have to do it for a week.
Yeah, right? And then like you smash
and that's addictive personality.
It is. And like it really, honestly, but it's the things that like it fulfills me, right? If you have the addicted personality on like, when I was binging, like it's funny because it's like I feel like I've turned that addictiveness into like my job, well, my work, really, my business, and then also my fitness. It's like, it's funny, right? I remember at the beginning of prep, I was worried. I didn't realize how fucking expensive it is. And also as well, like, oh my God, like, they took away the transformation placements and I'm like, fuck, am I even worthy for bikini? Can I do this? And I did have that moment that I wanted to binge. And it's funny because it's been more self-aware of that stuff. Like I was like, stop, go for a walk. And it's just being like realizing that and then to not fall down that path of like going down like where the addicted personality is. And then I really started to realize I'm like, fuck, I've turned my binging into fitness now. Yeah. Which is not a bad addiction to have, but you are right. When you do have an addictive personality, you need to have something else. Yeah.
Well, I have a theory and I've kind of not given up. I haven't really thought about it too much in a while, but I was trying to work out how many habits that we have as humans. And I believe that everyone has a certain amount of addictions. Habits is a bit different. I'll use the word addictions because I think that everyone has, like, let's just say 7 might be a close example to how many we all have. But you might be addicted to your phone, food, maybe it might be alcohol, people might be social life, over obsession with one person, whatever it might be. And I can't believe that you can never get rid of having this many things. You can only replace one with one, I just think it's impossible to lose an addictive personality. You have to find something to transition into.
Yeah, it's so true. Because like even as well, like, do you like shopping then?
I'm so bad at shopping. I'm gonna have to put it in because I got to be honest. But it's like lately I've gotten a credit card so I can buy more shit.
Oh my God! Because can I just say, right? That's what becomes addictive because I'm not binging out on the food. Even through prep, I was like going to Kmart just buying random shit when I didn't need to. I was buying the bad treats, so I was getting that fulfillment of buying things, even though I wasn't eating it.
Retail therapy.
Exactly, and it's so bad. Like I have so many clothes to fucking sell. It's not even funny.
I fucking love just tapping my phone. Like, I don't give a fuck what. Have you ever got Temu? Have you ever downloaded Temu?
Oh yes.
You know what is the funnest thing I started doing it this week? Just say you give yourself a light amount. Let's just say $40, $30 on easy. Yeah. See how much shit you can get, right?
Yeah.
Order it all and then don't even check the cart, nothing. Just click, yep, that, and then do an unboxing by yourself. And I did it the other night and I fucking laughed so hard at the random shit that came. I just went, bin.
Oh my God, bin.
I threw it all out except like one thing.
Oh my God, usually sometimes from Temu is pretty good. I gotta admit, I love Temu for the knickknacks, but I do love Shein. I love Shein. Shein is good, man. Like, and it does once again become addictive. Like, I will like add so much shit into that cart, and then buy, and then I'm like, okay, like even now I'm like, because I bought a few things like because I've lost so much weight, I don't have clothes, especially getting into winter now. I'm like, fuck, I have no clothes. But that means I can buy more. But like, it is so addictive because as well, you get that thrill and the rush. Like exactly like you said, you unbox it to yourself. You would be like, oh, what am I getting? Like, what is it? And it is like that. And then it's so funny because it's like with clothes, you'll buy it, it will come, you've got it, and it's like you need it. Like, so for example, I remember work had a jumper and I went down to Bathurst and I was going to buy it from there. And I'm like, oh, fuck, you don't have the extra small. So I got it from Penrith. But it's like I couldn't stop until I bought it.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
Yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. I have bought a pair of shoes every week. It has still been 2 months now. Like, I've bought so many fucking shoes. Maybe 3-4 months, actually. I've got like 16 new pairs of shoes or something. And it's like, as soon as I see one and glancing in a shop, and I'm like, motherfucker. Like, I can't stop thinking about it.
Right.
Like, I have to go get it just to tick that box.
Right. I'm the fucking exact same. And then I have a bad habit. Once I get it, because I like it so much, I don't want to wear it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I need to wear it for a special event or a special day. And I'm like, when the fuck am I ever going to wear it? I literally go and train and sit at home. And like with these shoes, I bought them right. And for ages, I didn't wear them.
They're mad too. They're mad.
Thank you.
Did they get from Nike themselves or were they custom?
They're fake.
Yeah. They're custom.
You know, okay, I'm going to give a big hack to anyone. I probably shouldn't, but there's a online website. It's called NK Heaven.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If you like shoes, you're going to fucking love life on there. They have everything. So that's where I got these. And they like, you wouldn't even be able to tell. So many people, like I could literally say, oh yeah, I got them from Louis Vuitton. But like I won't. I'm not a liar. I can't say that. I'd feel guilty if I did. But on there, like they've got Nikes. They've got like, you know, the New Balances. Mm-hmm. They've got TNs. They've got fucking every shoe under the sun. But not even that. They've got like fake Louis Vuitton bags, wallets, like anything you can think of that is branded, it is on there because at the end of the day, it's from China. But it's cheap. Like, you know, those New Balance shoes, I have bought myself a real pair. Most comfortable thing ever. Like the real pair is like $250. Go on there, it's $80.
Oh, wow.
And you get them and you don't even know a difference.
Wow. Yeah,
crazy. And can't even remember that. I can tell you're going to go on there.
But like, I get to go back and I get to edit this and I get to write that down.
Legit.
I get to go,
so good.
Google Chrome.
Yeah, honestly, like that also becomes addictive as well. Yeah. But yeah, it is very, very addictive. And like, it's just the thrill of the chase, I reckon.
Yeah. People, I'm trying to get better at it, all right? My credit card, I can't let it get too big, but I will work on it, all right? Well, one thing that I have been curious to ask you through this episode is, you did mention before, and I have a kind of a two-part, but I want to ask the first part first. Like, how has the reaction been pre and post this journey you've been on, right? From the rest of the world. Obviously, your friends and family are there. They're all supportive. Everyone's like, oh, I can't believe the transformation. It's crazy. You got people like me that have been like, what the fuck? That's insane, you know, realistically. But you did mention growing up as well. Like, you had a lot of people always giving you shit. You're always worried, you know, insecure about your weight and things like this. How different is life now? And from your perspective, someone who has gone from being overweight to someone who is actively fit, constantly working on themselves, like you're literally stage ready. It's fucking insane.
Thank you.
Right? Like, and before I say this as well, I got to say, like, I know you said that some people have questioned in the past, like, that your boyfriend, how they say, it's great that he stayed with you through the fact that you gained weight. And it's like, maybe this is just me being a guy. Maybe this is just me being a bit, and I struggle with empathy. I'm not very good at it, but it's like, I don't really think that's a crazy thing to say because if you do get into a relationship with someone, and you made it sound really sweet and wholesome and beautiful, so I got to try and remember that when you said you're right. It's for that person and who they are, and he didn't even notice realistically, right?
Yeah.
But I think the fact is, when people do gain a lot of weight, or they lose a lot of weight, or people do, you know, become a whole different person, sometimes that's not the person that you started dating in the first place. So I think he hit in my opinion, I always consider it like a bit of a lottery ticket, you know what I mean? He just happened to fall in love with someone who ended up becoming heaps fit anyway, you know?
So like, you know, honestly, it's a great question. And the reason why I even say that, right? My ex broke up with me when I gained weight in that relationship. He literally said to me, you've gained weight and I don't love you anymore. And that fucking hurts. And
I bet it hurts.
Fucking hurts. Like,
I bet it hurts, but it's like, I'm sorry to cut you off as well. I do this a lot. I feel like I've been pretty good for this.
No, you've been great with stuff.
And I know that hurts and I know that sucks, but like, I just kind of think sometimes I get it. Not because like I'm only going to date someone because they look a certain way, but I feel like when people do change and someone becomes a bit more nasty, or someone starts smoking and they didn't smoke before, or someone, there's a million factors that come into play. It's like, well, it's like, that's not what I signed up for in the beginning. Yeah. And I know it sucks, but I think it's more lucky than it is normal, the fact that you found someone who didn't think that realistically.
No, you're completely right. Like, you are right. And like, there was through that relationship when I was gaining weight, I would constantly ask him, like, do you still love me even though I've gained weight? And he's like, I don't see you like that. Like, I don't see you like that. And like, I am so thankful that I did find someone that wasn't like, that, didn't break up with me because I gained the weight, and he loved me for me, because that's what he would always say to me. He's like, I love you for you. But I get that. Like, and I really, really do, because but also as well, I knew in myself I wasn't going to stay like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I knew this isn't the person I wanted to be. And it's funny, when I lost all the weight, I remember only asking him, like, probably like a few months ago, I asked Josh, I was just like, from when I was overweight to what I am now, what do you think is different within our relationship and myself? And he goes, you're happier. You actually want to leave the house. You want to come do things with me. You're like spontaneous. You're like, oh, let's do this, let's do that. Like, he goes, I always loved you, right? But he goes, honestly, you were grumpy before. You were snappy. You never wanted to leave the house. You never wanted to do anything. You just wanted to lay on the couch. And he goes, like, he was always like a go-getter kind of thing. And in saying that though, when he said that to me, and I was like, wow. And I'm like, I was literally, like I said, I was literally a miserable fat person. And I even said to him, like, I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. And he goes, I was always going to support you no matter what. And I was like, thank you. Like, but I know that there was people out there, like, there has been people out there that like, if someone gaining weight, it does change the person. And it changed me to be a miserable, fucking depressed person. And
I think that's what it might be a lot of the time as well. It might not be necessarily that someone physically has gained weight.
Yeah.
I think it's the person that comes with it.
Yeah.
Realistically. So I think, I don't know, you just must have been happy together more than anything.
Yeah, like, definitely, like, I don't know, like, we mesh really, really well together. But, even like in saying, like, what you touched on before, going through the weight loss and everything with people and their opinions and stuff like that. Like, what's really funny is that I got a lot of opinions, especially when I was open about the gastric sleeve and I started talking to people about it and helping them with it. And then people would say, people would say this to me, oh my God, yeah, I think you lost a lot of weight. I'm like, thank you, I got a gastric sleeve. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, don't get too skinny. Oh, when people have a gastric sleeve, they get all gaunted and really skinny. You're going to have loose skin everywhere. Oh my God, the amount of fucking opinions, like I said at the start, that I would get from people. And one thing, right? So like, I lost the 50 kilos before I started prep. And I was just kind of like, what else? What else can I do? I want something else. What's more? And then when that coach reached out to me, I was like, yeah, this is it. Because what I wanted to do? I wanted to fucking prove to people, just because I have a gastric sleeve doesn't mean that I'm going to be a skinny or gaunted person or this or that or whatever the fuck it is. I want to prove everyone fucking wrong. Like, fuck you. Like, that is what I wanted to do. And I feel like I achieved it, because it's just like, just because I have a gastric sleeve doesn't mean I can't go on stage. And like, even now, like now that I have to go through a build, yeah, it's going to be fucking hard for me. It is going to be hard, but I know I can do it. And one thing that like drives me so much is proving people wrong. And I've had a lot of like, because one thing that fucking irked me, a lot of the time people will be like, oh yeah, she's just lost the weight because she's got a gastric sleeve. Yeah, she's lost the weight because she's got a gastric sleeve. Yeah, the gastric sleeve helped me lose weight. Don't fucking get me wrong. But even ask a PT at the gym, like he even said to me, and he goes, Mikaela, I give so much credit to you, because he goes, the gastric sleeve can only lose like 30 kilos, right? But he goes, you have to change your eating habits, your lifestyle, your training and everything like that. You need to put the fucking work in, because the gastric sleeve is not going to make you lose the weight. And this is what a lot of people have to understand. They think the quick fix, go get your stomach cut out, it's going to make you lose the weight. It will. But you can still overeat. Like, there's things called slider foods, like chocolate lollies and chips. When you eat that, that disintegrates. It goes into liquid. So obviously the tube, it can easily pass. Like, I could eat a whole block of chocolate now if I wanted to. Like, I really could. And it's just like, that is what people have to understand. And I fucking hated to be labeled like, oh yeah, but she just looks the way she does because the gastric sleeve. Well, guess fucking what? The gastric sleeve didn't grow these abs. The gastric sleeve didn't grow these legs. The gastric sleeve didn't change my fucking body. Yeah, it helped me. It helped me kickstart the life. I wouldn't be fucking where I am without the gastric sleeve. And I'm so grateful for it. And I love it so much. And I'll never hide away from it. And that's why I'm so proud of it. But as well, don't label me. Like, don't label me in a box that, oh yeah, you're only there because of the gastric sleeve. The gastric sleeve didn't get me on fucking stage.
You exceeded well past it.
Thank you.
It's funny, we did mention that at the beginning of the episode, the competitive nature to prove people wrong, and it's that fuck you, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Exactly, because it's like, oh God, it's just because it is so like imagine just someone, oh yeah, but she only looks like because the gastric sleeve. I'm like, what? So the hours of cardio, the fucking hours of training, me choosing the right foods, like for example, I'm on a reverse right now. Yesterday I was driving home from Fairfield and I was going past a place that has like loaded croissants or whatever. I don't know, I've seen it all online when I was at prep, and I could have easily stopped in and gotten one, but I was like, no, I don't want to. I'm going to go home to like the food that I have, which I enjoy, and because now I'm with Macy, bless her cotton socks, but I wanted to eat that food. But I could have easily swung in there because I don't really have a goal at the moment. Like I do and I don't. But like I could have gone and eaten those bad foods, but I chose not to. And that's where it's just like people need to realize that like at the end of the day, it's up to you to make that change.
Yeah. And to be honest, I think you've done more than prove anyone else wrong. You know, you've proven yourself right.
Thank you.
And that is and there's a great sorry.
You're okay.
You know, it has to go off on 5 devices so
You
I can
have
hear
2
it.
phones.
Well, to be honest, I did what you did, and I bought an iPhone 16 for the storage too, and I just used that for a camera.
Oh, smart. I thought you might have had like a work phone or something like that. No.
One's a camera, one's a phone. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Oh my God. I know, to be fair, I've been tossing up to get another phone. Like, especially even like a work phone maybe, and then have a personal phone. I don't know. I'm tossing up. Now you've like, I've seen it and I'm like, stop it. Well, don't tell me.
One's usually on 2%, one's usually on 30. So it's like, to be honest, I might as well just have one phone anyway.
True.
But yeah, the point I was going to make was there's this thing called proof before promise. And that's that you can tell yourself whatever you want to tell yourself, kind of like me in a delusional way to be realistic. But where's your proof? You have to, and this is a great business model as well. You know, people, when they want to become a PT or a trainer or a coach, like you get your free samples first and you do it for people for free. So when you do start charging people money, you have your proof before you promise what you can do to them. Well, I've done that for people before. Now let me show you what I'll do exactly the same way. And without that proof first, how do you ever expect to start charging money? You know, just so people have faith in your promise. And the same thing works for people's mindset when it comes to moving forward. So I might tell myself something like, I'm going to go to the gym every day for the next 30 days, right? But that mostly is consistency and discipline.
Yeah.
If I've never built any consistency and any discipline before in my life, it's so much harder to actually believe myself as I get to day 1, day 2, day 3. But if I was to use an example, like when I reflect on the fact that I'm like episode 150 in the podcast, it's like, well, I've done this every week for 150 weeks. Like, why can't I go to the gym every day for 30 days, you know?
So true.
And that's what you've done more than anything else above anything. You've built something that you can take for the rest of your life, like you did going through that first 6 weeks of surgery to being like, you know what? Look at the proof I have to be able to do a stage. You know what I mean? I can deal with this diet. This ain't too bad. Look at the proof I have before.
That is such a fucking good way to put it. You just like articulated that so fucking well. Like, wow, like you're right.
Proof before promise. Like and you don't know how much promise you can make yourself now moving forward. Like it's crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. Isn't that like the fire in the belly? It's just like, you know, like honestly, like I understand why people say bodybuilding is addictive. Like it really is addictive. And like, unfortunately though, like at the end of the day, like the hard work is before leading up on stage. And like, I don't know, I do have a few goals set out for myself. I haven't locked anything in because obviously, like I said, I'm still like, as soon as I got off on stage, I fucking went straight back into work. Like I had a whole week of just creating content. And like, obviously that can like, it can be exhausting. And then I was coming home late at night and I was editing and everything like that because I'm a one-woman show. Like I definitely probably maybe need to start looking at like hiring people, but I'm a control freak too. Like no one's going to edit the way I edit. Like, you know what I mean? No one's going to do the things that I do. So like eventually I'll probably have to let that go to be like, Mikaela, you need to free up some time. But I love being busy. I love working. I've been working since I was 12. But like, yeah, like it's actually crazy when you say that. And it's so funny. There was a podcast, right? And someone's like, oh, where do you reckon like it's going to lead? Like after this, it's going to lead you. And I was like, I don't know where I'm going to go, but I just know I'm destined for something great.
Oh, that's mad. Fuck, that's mad.
And it's funny.
Such a mad quote. I love that.
Yeah.
Because as you were saying it, I was thinking to myself, I hope you said something great. I hope you said something great. You literally said something great.
Literally. It's just crazy because it's like a little, like, you know, people do little podcast previews. I saw it the other day and I was like, fuck. And like months after I did a bodybuilding comp, like it's just crazy. Like, yeah, like it's just, you know what, like it's just, like I've said this before probably so many times in this, like you have one life to live, like don't live it with regrets. Don't let the worry and the fear hold you back. Like I have been like that. I've been like, oh, what if? And every single time I've taken that leap, it's always like 95% always worked out. And that 5% when it hasn't, it's been a lesson learned.
Yeah.
So it's just like, why the fuck not just go for it? And you learn from it. Like even with my boss, right? I said to him, I was like, if my business doesn't work out, like, will you always hire me back? And he goes, there will always be a job for you. But he goes, I know it's going to fucking work and don't doubt yourself. Like you've got this. And it's so true. Like, if you don't take that leap, like how the fuck are you going to know?
Well, I'm glad you said when that 5% doesn't work out, like, you know, you learn the lesson as well. You also said earlier in the episode, like, it was the best decision you've ever made, but it was the hardest decision you've ever made as well. And it's only hard things that can create those best decision moments, you know? It's taking the leap, it's taking the risk, it's quitting the job, it's going through the surgery, it's putting in the extra work, it's staying up late, it's like not getting enough sleep. it's these things that create greatness, you know? And it's like, if it's easy, it's not worth it. And everyone else is doing it. If something's hard, it's because people, if something's hard, it should be enough motivation for people to be like, okay, well then 99% of people aren't going to do it. I may as well do it so I can be the 1% that does. And then I can like kind of flex a bit, you know?
Yeah.
If it's
that is
hard.
so true. And like, you know, I read a quote the other day and I popped on my story. It was just like, it was something along the lines of like, if it scares you but excites you at the same time, it's your soul telling you to fucking go for it.
Yeah.
Like, go for it, because it's like, you're not going to grow or get anywhere in life just staying in your comfort zone. And like, you know, especially like the fact that I got up on a fucking stage in a bikini, like 18 months ago, obese Mikaela would never. But like, if you don't do it, how the fuck are you going to grow as a person and learn from those things? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard people say before, but about the nerves and excitement, about how they're the same thing. You ever heard of that before?
No, tell me.
So and that's kind of like if something scares you, but excites you, go for it. I think people confuse being fearful and being nervous. It's kind of the same kind of thing. Like, you know, you get a bit fearful before you do a public speak, but that's kind of your nerves kicking in. But realistically, if you think about nerves and excitement, they're the same physical symptoms happening. It's just that how you're looking at it from a positive or a negative lens, because you still get cold, sweaty hands, you still get shivers, you still start to sweat a little bit, you're still not really listening to what's happening around you. It's because you're actually going through the exact same symptom.
Yeah.
Nerves and excitement is the same feeling. We just
100%.
describe them differently, you know?
100%. And I also really feel like, and I don't know, it's like the fear of the unknown.
Yeah.
I know that is a big one for me. It's like I'll overthink and I'll get scared and nervous. It's because it's like, it's something that you haven't done before. You've experienced it before. So like, I know, for example, if I do another comp and go on stage, I've experienced it. I know what to expect. So I won't have as like, of course you're going to be nervous and scared, but like I won't have that much like self-doubt or fear towards it, because it's like, oh, I've done this before. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, remember when we all started driving a car, we're fucking shitting ourselves. Now it's like we're fucking speeding, driving with our knees with one hand. Like, you know what I mean?
I'm like, this is me driving. I'm going to be honest.
Literally, right? Literally.
Scrolling.
That was I like voice message all my girlfriends back when I drive, like all the time. But like back in the day, you know, you're scared, you're like driving like this, and it's just like when you do something again and again, you get used to it and you're not afraid to do it. You just fucking just go for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, Mikaela, I wish I could just yarn for as long as we needed to yarn, but there has to be a time frame within the podcast.
I know, I love to yap. I'm sorry.
So we're going to have to get towards the end of the episode in a minute. But however, at the end of a really good episode, I love to say to people as well, there needs to be a part 2, because we couldn't get everything we needed in part 1.
Okay, yeah, I'm down for it.
And to be honest, your story has only just begun, which is what's so crazy. You know, it's like you have a lot to show off for what you should be proud of already, you know, because you've done a lot, which you should be able to flex on. But more than that, you're actually able to inspire a lot of people as well, you know. And I had a lad come on only a few episodes ago, Blake, and he was in a car accident. He went through a similar life journey where he was in a motorbike accident. He lost a leg, lost an arm, and, you know, life sucks realistically. But he decided in that moment, honestly. And to be honest, the injuries were way worse than that, but that's just what you can see when you look at him. Yeah. And he's just like, you know what? Fuck it. Now he's out there every day at the gym, making videos about being at the gym, this and that. Yeah. And it's like, yes, he should be proud of the fact that he can go to the gym, and he is going to the gym. But more than that, it's like, it's the same reason why your content's so important. And a lot of people's content is so important because you're giving hope. Giving people faith, you know, and people say that the goal of social media, which it is, but subconsciously people don't realize, is you make content for who you thought you needed to see 5 years ago, you know? And the best coaches and the best fighters and trainers and people giving advice. And if I was to start making content, telling people how to start editing and making podcasting, and it's like, we should just be trying to help us 5 years ago, and that's exactly who you're helping.
Thank you. Like, honestly, that means a lot to me, because it's just like, you know, when I put things out there, like I'm like, how do I say it? It's like, I don't want to ever gloat. Like, I'm very humble, but I get like shy and stuff like that. But like, you know, before I went for this journey, I stalked so many girls that went through a gastric sleeve, and they put that content out there, and it helped me. It fucking helped me to make my decision. And it's crazy when people say to me like, oh, you're an inspiration and stuff like that. I get blush and I literally tear up. Honestly, I sit there on my phone and I literally like cry to some of the messages that I get. And like, I try to help so many people that I possibly can when they reach out to me. But it's crazy because I don't see myself as an inspiration. Like, I'm just ticking the boxes and I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Like, well, to be honest, like it's strange. Like, you should. Like, that's what's crazy.
Thank you.
Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe that is the characteristic trait of someone who is inspiring. But it's like, by every stretch of the imagination, that's who you are.
Thank you. Like, that like means the fucking world to me, because it's crazy to me. But if I can help one person by putting out a video or putting up a story or just like voice messaging someone back in the DMs, because I tried to get back to everyone, that's what makes me so fucking happy. So like if it's helping someone, that's all I could be thankful for.
Yeah, it's crazy how the best thing you can do for someone else is be the best version of yourself. You know,
that's a really good, like, oh my God, put that on a t-shirt. That is really good. I like that.
Yeah, well, I think the real quote of it is something along the lines of the most selfish thing you can do is the most selfless thing you can do is be selfish. And it's kind of to do with what I believe as well, where there's a saying that you can't help anyone that doesn't want to help themselves, which is true. Like if someone's sabotaging themselves or on drugs or overeating or any of these things, it's like there's nothing we can actually do to stop someone in their path of self-destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like it, so I went above and beyond to try and figure out a way around it because I can't watch it. And the only way I realize that I'm able to change them is if I lead by example. If I become the best version of me that shines so bright and is so helping and caring, and I do not say no to anything that I told myself I was going to do, then they can at least look at me and be inspired to make the decision for themselves. And that's actually how you help someone else, by being the best motherfucker alive, you know?
I fucking love that. You like said that so well, like better than I could ever even say it. It's so fucking true. Like it is so true. You're an inspiration as well.
Trying out here. At least I'm trying.
Oh, I love it.
Okay, well, honestly, Mikaela, I'm going to ask you the final question that I ask everyone, and then I'll come back to the thank you very much part of the podcast where I appreciate everything. But the same question I've asked every single person so far on the podcast.
Yeah.
And it's just in case anyone listening just might need to hear someone else's words in order. But if someone came to you because they were feeling depressed, mostly because they were just lost, is there any advice you would give that person?
First, I would listen to them. I want to hear why they feel like that and why they feel lost. And then I'd be able to give them the best advice possible, because it's like at the end of the day, when someone's usually feeling like that, they're not usually speaking about it, or they're not really opening up. And sometimes at the end of the day, a lot of people just need someone to listen, because no one actually listens to them. And probably my best advice is, I guess I would sit down and be like, okay, you've acknowledged why you're feeling like that. Let's work through it. It's not going to happen overnight, but what steps can we take to make it better? And then, like, you know, I guess sitting down with them and just really, really just helping them. Honestly, sometimes people just need a hug and just listen. And that's one thing that taught me a lot in sales. Like I said back when I said about the guy crying to me, he just had no one. He had no one just to be there and listen to him. And literally when people just kind of get it off their chest, and I'm sure if you've ever DM'd with your mates, something like that, you're like, fuck, I feel so much better. But yeah, I don't know. Like I hopefully that kind of answers the question.
No, I think that answers it perfectly, to be honest. They painted a lot of pictures, you know. There is actually no generic answer. Listen to them and find out why, because then you can actually help them for what they're going through, which is actually a great way to articulate that. But I'm glad you answered it the way you did towards the end as well, because it reminds me, it made me realize something that I should have said to you earlier, right? And I actually didn't realize it until now, but yes, you've been on this crazy thing, and that's something that you should definitely be proud of, right? Definitely. I'm not saying don't. However, more than that, the life that you lived before that, which is the person you've been through gaining weight or losing weight or now getting ready for prep and gaining it back again.
Yeah.
The real person, which is probably the reason why you and Josh are together in the first place, and everything you were trying to tell me about people just being who they are, is that when you're working in sales, you wanted to help people. You were there to listen. And that's why people were crying. Fuck, no one's ever listened to me before. An unfair fact about this world is 1 in 10 people have no one. That means not one friend, not one family member, not one coworker, absolutely no one to talk to about what's going on in their life. And 1 in 10 is fucking crazy, because I'm blessed. I have 100 minimum. Like I'm so grateful. I'm so lucky. Maybe I'm an oversharer, but like I don't care who. I'll tell you everything that's wrong with me. I don't care. But 1 in 10 have no one. So to be the type of person that walks around in this planet, which is something that I'm going to try and do more often. I try and do it a bit. I'm going to do it more. Everyone should try and do it more. Be the type of person that people want to be talking to. Be the type of person that people want to share. Just offer yourself an ear, a shoulder, something for people to lean on, because fuck, you've done a lot for people just by listening, you know?
Do you know what? Can I just, like, and this is a whole different can of words, but I won't go into it. But, you know, growing up, right, I didn't have the best upbringing, and I've been out on my own since I was 15 years old. And I always say the people that have the biggest heart, that want to listen, that have a lot of empathy, always have a story. They've either, like, you know, maybe lost parents, or, you know, like I said, like I was out on my own at 15 and I had no one. I was literally, I divorced my parents. Like you can do that for the government. It's a whole big story kind of thing. Like my dad, I obviously still have
I've never heard that. Fuck, that's crazy.
I literally have not had a relationship with my mum for 10 years. Like, it's just like I've been out on my own when I was 15. I've literally had my clothes and my car, and that was it. Like, it was just like nothing else. I've literally started renting without, like, so I lived with my sisters and stuff, like my sister for a bit, and I started renting by myself at the age of 17. Like, it's just like, by the way, you divorce it so you can get more allowance, so you can get like so I could literally afford rent when I was that young because I was a hairdresser, I was an apprentice. So I haven't had the best upbringing, and I think that really shaped me for who I was. I'm very grateful for things. I'm just, really appreciative of the things that I have around me because it's like I haven't had a lot. And I really feel like the people that don't have a lot or have a story behind them are always the people that want to listen and help other people.
Absolutely. Well, it's definitely what empathy kind of is. Because what empathy is the output for the input that was once trauma. So it's not until you've experienced something, then you can actually have empathy and you can understand what someone's going through. If someone was to come to me right now and tell me all about the fact that they just lost $1 million and they just saved it and lost it, I wouldn't really know how to empathize because I don't know what that feels like. But if someone tells me about, addiction or struggle or loss or, family or friends or relationships or all these things that I'm familiar with, I understand them, I can actually care. I know what they're going through, know. And that makes sense that a lot more of the empathetic listeners are people who have gone through a struggle because struggle creates empathy.
It really, really does. And like also as well, like you said, like now I can help people, like people that don't really have a great relationship with their parents. The amount of times I would sit down and be vulnerable with people because it's just like they can understand. It's actually so fucking crazy, but like it shapes you to who you are today. And I'm so, as much as I'm like, oh fuck, I wish I had a better life or a better upbringing or I wish I did this, I'm like, no, I didn't, because I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll tell you how I want to wrap up this episode, Mikaela. I think my judgment of you so far, I don't usually make a judgment of someone so far, right? That's not what I'm trying to do, right? But my judgment of you so far is that, yes, you might look a lot different, right? For a good thing, right? Believe me. But more than that, you're the same person, all right? And you're a strong, put your head down, get it done, and be nice to everyone along the way.
Thank you.
All right? And that's the best characteristic trait. And so far, I thought I was going to be amazed about all the weight loss and journey you've been on, but more than that, you're a fucking good person. So.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I really appreciate that. Right back at you. I've honestly, like I said, I've done a few podcasts, but this whole podcast, I felt so comfortable. It felt like I was just talking to a mate. It literally did.
Good. That was the vibe I was going for. So.
Yeah, honestly, no, you're a really good person as well, and I really appreciate it. And thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much. I couldn't thank you enough. I was looking forward to it for a while. I remember I seen you on Jess's. I waited a while, and I was like, you know what, I can't wait anymore. So yeah.
No, I'm like honestly thankful that you've even had me on here. It's been honestly fantastic, and it just. So like I can't believe you even like gave me an Oxy shirt. Like, you know what I mean? That's so lovely of you.
Yeah. All right. Well.
So we're gonna find you a girlfriend, right? Okay. Anyone listening? Yeah, it's
single. Give me some time. All right. Well, thank you, Mikaela. And to be honest, everyone else listening as well, thank you for making it to the episode. It was amazing with this week. There'll be another one next week. That's all right.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I got too much. You know what? The whole time I was looking at what is tattooed